October 27th, only at Micronesia Mall.
30 years ago, I moved to Guam from the Philippines to make a better life for my family. I worked hard every day. We struggled, but I was happy to do it for my kids. I will do anything to protect my family, but I don't feel safe. I don't see police patrolling the villages like I used to. Guam is not the same. Criminals are getting braver because they know we don't have enough police officers. The Lieutenant Governor says public safety is a priority. He's been in the office for 8 years and had the chance to do something to make us safer, but he didn't. I'm tired of empty promises. I want someone who's going to get the job done. That's why I'm voting for Lou and Josh. Sa Nobyembre 6, ako po ay boboto para kay Lou at Josh. At inaanyahan ko po kayong lahat na maniwala na mayroon tayong karapatan na maramdaman na ligtas ang pagboto sa kanila. Ako po si Bobby Gopez. Maraming salamat po.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this ad.
Paid for by the committees who elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
This first look at news is brought to you by Guam Hearing Doctors. Now from the Guam Daily Post, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. 24-year-old Brandon Michael Acosta is being held on $300,000 cash bail for the June 16th murder of 15-year-old Tamika Jadine Nauta. Acosta arrested on Friday evening by Guam police and brought before Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan Saturday afternoon. He was charged with aggravated murder, home invasion, aggravated assault, burglary, criminal trespass, possession and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. Acosta was already in custody on burglary charges when, according to the magistrate report, he told another inmate that he killed Nauta. He was brought in for questioning Friday and reportedly confessed. He blamed the killings on his meth addiction and said he made a mistake. The magistrate report states that after praying, Acosta believes his spirit has been set free since he confessed. Acosta's next scheduled appearance in court is set for October 30th. Senator Tom Atta has appealed to the Office of the Attorney General to correct what he views as an error in the Department of Revenue and Taxation's interpretation of the 2019 budget law. In a letter to Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, Senator Atta, who chairs the legislature's Appropriations Committee, expressed concern that Rev and Tax's decision to postpone implementation of the tax increase for property will unnecessarily force a multi-million-dollar deficit in the current fiscal year and needlessly intensify our government's daily struggle for cash. Public Auditor Benjamin Cruz called attention to the issue in a news release last week, noting that Rev and Tax decided not to assess the property tax increase mandated in the 2019 budget law until fiscal year 2020, even though the proceeds from the tax increase are already allocated to be spent this fiscal year. Failure to collect the tax this fiscal year creates an immediate deficit of $8.1 million, which is the amount the tax increase was expected to raise. We'll have more news after this.
We're surrounded by sound. There are sounds that you need to hear. There are sounds that you want to hear. And there are sounds that you long to hear. Hear it all, louder and clearer than ever before. If you or someone you know has a hard time hearing, Guam Hearing Doctors can help, using state-of-the-art test gear to evaluate your hearing and coming up with a plan to make your life better by making your hearing better. Call Guam Hearing Doctors for an appointment or visit them on the web at guamhearingdoctors.com.
Calvo started with a simple handshake. As we celebrate 80 years, we extend a hand to all of you who have taken our hand in trust, to the dreamers and realists, the families, the businesses, the young at heart, and the old souls, our manumku and our children. From all of us to all of you, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 6 a.m. The Guam Election Commission Friday decided to accept 3 names for the gubernatorial write-in campaign of Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and his running mate Alicia Lim Tiaco. The acceptable names are Frank Uggan Jr., Alicia Lim Tiaco, Frank Uggan, Alicia Lim Tiaco, and Uggan Lim Tiaco. The commission also agreed to consider other variations beyond those 3 when the ballots are counted on November 6th. The commission agreed to count Uggan Lim Tiaco write-ins as well on both sides of the ballot, whether they are write-ins under the Republican or Democratic column on the ballot. Over the next few weeks, a team of enumerators working for the U.S. Census Bureau will be going door to door throughout the island to count the number of compact migrants living on Guam. The 2018 Compact of Free Association enumeration is required by law. The count has been taken every 5 years since 2003, and Dramaki Mason is one of 2 U.S. Census Bureau employees on island supervising the survey. Mason told the Guam Daily Post that they're conducting a scientifically selected sample. About 5,000 housing units on Guam and in the CNMI are being surveyed. There are only 7 questions on the survey. It asks for name, age, phone number, place of birth, date of arrival on Guam, marital status, and number of individuals living in the household. The results of the survey determine how much each of the 4 affected jurisdictions get from the $30 million that is set aside by Congress each year to help cover the costs of services provided to compact migrants. Guam, home to the largest number of compact migrants. As a result, Guam has received the largest share of compact impact funding over the years. Last year, it was about $14.9 million. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
Actually, it's Ray and Mike from the National Weather Service. Good morning, Mike. This is Ray Gibson. How are you?
Good morning, Ray. I'm just fine, thanks.
I'm glad to hear that. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Maybe you can explain how it was that it was a beautiful, unbelievable, grill mark potential looking Sunday morning, and then all of a sudden the weather went to hell about 10 o'clock in the morning and it stayed rainy all day. Maybe there's some explanation on that.
Actually, Ray, when I got up yesterday morning about 6 o'clock and looked out and saw how clear it was, I actually expected it to rain. And this is why, because we had those light winds drifting down from the north, and the island gets heated during the morning, and that causes the air to rise, and we get what we call those island showers. And since there's light winds, they don't move very much, and they just kind of happen to set up shop over central and parts of northern Guam. We get a lot of our rain each year from that kind of a situation.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it was a nice. The day had the great potential for grill marks, and I tried to take advantage of it as much as I possibly could. And then I started getting word about concerns about a tropical depression that's starting to come up. And this is not one of those weird fake news things that was floating around on Friday, where they were talking. Somebody had retreaded for some reason on WhatsApps and some of the other social medias old warnings about 26W, but we're already up to 31W here.
Right.
So what you're about to hear, listeners, is fresh information about current weather conditions. So while he's talking about that, I'm going to put up the satellite imagery so you can see what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Let me just say first of all that we do have our Facebook site on Facebook. We have our page there, and you can see the latest information on that. But other than that, I would not trust Facebook for the latest, up-to-date, and accurate information. Facebook's getting to be quite a fake news site, so just be careful what you get off of Facebook.
Absolutely.
And other social media. What we have this morning is Tropical Depression 31. The first advisory has gone out on that, and it's centered up northwest of Pohnpei, near 8.5 north and about 157 east, and that's about 900 miles east-southeast of Guam. It appears to be moving to the west-northwest, and if you're looking on satellite, the center is actually in the northern part of that cloud mass there. There's upper-level winds that are kind of stifling deep rain and showers and cloudiness on the northern side of the system. As it moves to the west, that should clear up and it'll get more symmetric. But for now, the heavy weather is south, so don't be fooled into thinking the center is further down. It's up there around 8.5 to 9 degrees north. Right now, as far as we're concerned here, it looks like the most likely scenario is that it will affect Tinian and Saipan as it passes north of Saipan Wednesday or Thursday, but not affect Guam nearly as much, perhaps some breezy conditions here. But having said that, let me say that, storms don't always consult the models before they decide where to go. So pay attention to this one. It could affect us, but right now there's a lot of uncertainty.
All right, Kenny, any idea what the weather conditions are like there, what the top wind speeds are?
Right now, winds are around 30 miles an hour.
Okay.
It may become a tropical storm sometime this afternoon, but if those upper-level winds keep stifling it may delay that a little bit.
Gotcha. The important thing to remember is that there is a storm that is to the east of us and it is south of us, and I don't start getting comfortable until it is way north and west of us, and that's when I can start relaxing and thinking, all right, we're going to be okay here. So while that thing is still lurking in that part of the neighborhood, everybody else start watching your satellite imagery and start going to the legitimate websites, legitimate news sources for information on what's happening with 31 Whiskey.
That's right.
All right, Mike, certainly appreciate your time. You have a terrific day.
You too, thanks.
All right, buddy, and for today's forecast, looks like partly cloudy skies, isolated showers, winds from the east, 5 to 15 miles an hour, expected highs, 90 hot degrees, and overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. Sunset tonight at 5:58, earlier, and sunrise this morning was about 6:12. Did I get all that right in there?
You did indeed.
All right, very good. So he's wearing his Tennessee Texans, what is it? It's a tunic. I'm going to call it a tunic today.
Toga.
There's Michael Knight in there. Hold on, let me put the camera back on me so everybody can see.
So I'm
are you
proudly
thrilled?
displaying. Absolutely. I don't know whether Jacksonville's offense sucked that bad or our defense just decided to show up.
We'll see what happens.
It was a good day.
6:17. That's news and weather together. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches. They place roots.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Our benefits plans cater to you. Our commitment has never been stronger. Medical, dental, and specialty care, accessible near and far. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, live a balanced lifestyle to give you peace of mind. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to comfort you. Take care, take care, take care.
I get to tell you all about the incredible salad over at Wendy's. Now, I could tell you about the Sawsome burger. In fact, I might. We'll save the salad for a little bit later on. They're putting it on a burger. What is it? Sawsome sauce. The new Sawsome? Yes. Bacon classic cheeseburgers waiting for you at Wendy's, stacked with applewood smoked bacon on a beef patty, melty cheese, the vegetable sections, and now Wendy's signature Sawsome sauce. Wendy's new Sawsome Bacon Classic. Have it in a single, double, or triple. This is a burger worth bragging about at Wendy's. Quality is our recipe.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Which one? All of it? Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. American President Lines, they're shipping the future. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water, and Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters.
Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Have an awesome weekend. I don't know about you, but it's absolutely terrific for me. Not one down moment. Not one wasted second where I said, "Yeah, I wish I'd done something else." Well, no, that's actually not true. There was. Don't you just hate it when you miss out on something, even though you had a great time doing what you do, and then you run into somebody and said, "Oh, dude, you should have been with us at the other thing. That was off the chain. You should have." People were asking for you. They were like, "Ray should be here." What's up with that? Are we talking about political rallies? No, you know what? I almost didn't get hardly any political conversation in there. Well, let me start this program in the usual way before I get into some of the unusual topics. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. Mike side with the amazing and incredible Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post. Good morning, Kevin.
Morning, Ray.
Did you have a good weekend?
Great.
Yes?
Fantastic.
Did you get the rest? Because I know that the weekend for you is all about rest. Even though when I read that, I don't know how you can get the rest.
I went to court on Saturday. And
really?
Yeah.
Really? So what was your verdict? What did the judge, innocent, guilty? Do you have to leave town?
$300,000 bail.
Oh,
for
that
Mr.
one.
Acosta.
Yeah. That's boy. There's a lot of people very, very upset about some of the details on that particular story. Obviously,
sure, yeah.
and why was he out breathing free air? He was already on a pretrial release, wasn't he?
No, he was actually in custody, and he was brought in. He was arrested following the murder.
Oh, I see.
On robbery charges.
On the robbery charges, and then admitted while he was
Burglary,
there.
actually.
Burglary charges, admitted to.
And apparently he spoke with some other inmates. The inmates spoke with the authorities, and that led to his arrest.
We'll learn more about this story and others. Of course, Michael Knight all weekend long watching the football games, and there's a whole bunch today. We got to do the scores at some point, right?
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. It's been, as far as my picks go, it's been a horrible week. But my team won, so that's all that matters.
The Texans won.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Everything else is you can survive.
For the most part, yeah. I think I'll be okay. I'll be all right, man. I swear it.
I should be the one pressing the buttons here. I should be the one playing that sad music. So tell me what happened to the rest of your picks, Michael. Was there multiple sadness?
There was pandemonium on the field.
All right. Well, we'll get around to doing some of that stuff. At any rate, where shall we begin the program? I feel like I've got like tics or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just a nervous tick here of starting the program on a Monday, and absolutely prepared for it. Like I said, a great weekend, a lot of rest. Got to hang out with all kinds of groovy people, and I'll tell you some of those stories before too much longer. Many of them already posted up on the Facebook. The ones that won't get me sued or get me in trouble with the law are posted up on Facebook. In the meantime, had to start with the weather report for a couple of reasons. Like I said, there was a statement that started going around about 31 whiskey in the last 48 hours or so.
Yeah.
And the good news is, based on the models that we've got now, maybe a bigger problem for the northern islands. But while the storm is still that way and south, I need you to keep an eye on it and start looking around. I'm not saying that you need to start looking for clips and shutters, but just in case. We're never really on Guam out of the woods because we have had pretty big strikes in the past, late in the year.
Yeah,
Karen was late in the year.
Well, and you said yourself that your father told you November was always the month to watch, and we are right on the cusp of November.
Bleeding edge there.
Yep, and as the models right now show a very wide range of tracks, and some of them come as far south as Guam, some of them miss the Marianas entirely and recurve it up to the northeast. So a lot of uncertainty, as Mike said from the National Weather Service. In a couple of days, we'll know a whole lot more. And this one's going to be one of those scary storms because it's going to be a full-fledged typhoon before it even gets here. So it's going to be kind of hanging off to the east going, will I or won't I? I'm a big boy, and we're going to be keeping an eye on this thing for most of the week.
All right. Well, I suppose we'll have to. I'm a little disappointed that we've got to deal with this and the incredible political drama that is out there and afoot. There's any number of opportunities that you are going to have to get with the politicians, folks that are running for political office, whether it's the Consolidated Commission on Utilities and Ed Board, I think, has got one in there, or one or two in there. We've got people that need to be the next congressperson of Guam, and attorney general of Guam, and senators, and governor, and lieutenant governor. In fact, next Saturday, we'll be at the Micronesia Mall. It is their I was going to say annual, but they do it every time there's an election. The one-on-one with the candidates. Carlos and I are going to be doing a special expanded version of Facebook Live on that day. Obviously, you'll be able to hear what's going on the actual radio here on 93.3, The Point. And I'm looking for participation from everybody. It, as far as I know, is not a forum. It is not a debate. We set up, and for those of you that have never been there, the mall sets up tables, and here come the politicians. They populate the tables. They put out their brochures. Their people are going to be there. Their surrogates are going to be there, and any number of people that will help explain their platforms, what it is that they're all about, and how they want to enhance our lives, if you will. But if you're thinking, well, you know what, they've got a couple of forums that are coming up, a couple of debates that are coming up that I'm interested. Well, who's going to be at those, especially the gubernatorial forums? Am I talking too fast? Sometimes I do that on Monday mornings. Just kind of excited to be here with you. Oh, and speaking of being excited to be, I haven't done the chant yet and welcoming anybody to Facebook. Sorry, I've distracted myself already, and I'll explain why in a second. But first, let's see who's here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
And there were probably a whole bunch of names above Mark's, but I'm sorry, I should have gotten here earlier. Good morning, Mark Cruz. Melissa Blas Scheibel is there. I see Ismael and John Sinicholas saying good morning to everybody. Rico Blancafor says good morning, Guam. Hi, El Taitigui. Did you know that El has a song out there on the World Wide Web? Might see if I can get some of that on the playlist here. Linda Gabriel, good morning. Carmelian Guerrero, Bob Lizama, Juanita Machi. Lady D is there. Dora Marie Fergerger and Jeff Ojeda. Mark Cruz asking me, today should have been Pink Shirt Day, Rayman. Is that so? Am I missing something? It's not the Great Shakeout. I already did that on Friday. If I did, apologies. I didn't know. I didn't get the email. Didn't see anything on Facebook and WhatsApp about it. Mark Mendiola, Charlene Marchessault is there. Lori Lynn Tapazja, Big Sister Shelley. Ted Lewis says, good morning, Ray, Michael, and Kevin. And Lori is saying about the same thing. Big Sister Shelley says, good morning, Ramon. Happy Monday to everybody. Tommy Barcinas is there. John Ray, yes, go ahead, just talk.
No, I've got something we can talk about.
Oh, that's just evil. That's just. Do I want to know about it? Or you just want to throw it out?
If you haven't tuned in to the all-new Ray Gibson Show, you've missed a lot.
I have total faith that I have no idea for any of this stuff. I denied that it was coming from us, so I don't want to discuss it anymore. Frank, you lost. Move on.
Don't miss out. Tune in every weekday morning from 6 to 10 for The Ray Gibson Show on Guam's only FM News Talk Superstation, 93.3 The Point.
Hourly.
Just saying, man.
Hourly. Debbie Wise says, good morning. Yay for Monday and all the possibilities of the week that stretch out before us. It's nice to start the day with you. Well, the feelings are very, very mutual. I see Rich Alvia, Anita Muffness with the Valentine's eyes. Evan Muntville Cohen is there. Wants to see if I'm continuing to have my finger on the pulse of the island of Guam. Well, gotta hope so. Andre Bainham is there. Could be some decent news for Andre finally coming out of the Guam Election Commission. We'll say if we can touch base with the lady over at the Guam Election Commission, see what they've got to say based on the get-together that they had on Friday. And another one looks like it's coming up on, Monday? Valerie Maiga is there from Frank's office. Big a bitta. Hey, Chris, nice to see you. Neats is on. Isaac. And Isaac is posting a graphic, and I don't know what kind of animal that is. But frankly, Isaac, how do you do that? I don't know how to post graphics up here. Because, dude, there's plenty. There are plenty of incredible memes that I'd love to be able to put on the chat side. Mark says, too bad you missed quiz night, but you did make Black Construction's 60th anniversary shindig. I had a terrific time at that. That was a great way to end my weekend and to get things kicked off for a whole lot of people. Jules Elmer's there. Leslie St. Nicholas. Leslie is watching. I appreciate that. Derek Munya Kanata, Albert Eliason, Dave Duenas, Melina Montanotnia. Mark always says any storms that forms near Majur or Kosrae need to be watched closely. It's far enough away to strengthen to a super typhoon before it gets to our area. And that's why, like I said, don't lose the clips, batteries, and know where we keep the biscucho and the Spam just in case.
Yeah, current forecasts show this to be a Category 3 storm as it approaches the islands. So sometime this week, Wednesday or Thursday.
All right. Well, I'm busy. I don't have time for a typhoon. Talk to whoever it is that we've got to talk to. The governor needs to get involved here. Let me see. Bill Erickson is there, and Lynn Vince Borja. And we didn't give RD a break for this one. RD and I put the shutters up for the last one. That's all I need. 6:31 in the morning, and where am I supposed to be now? Oh, I forgot. Look at it. Where does the time go? I just got here. Have I managed to mumble through 31 minutes of the program already?
You're having too much fun.
It's barely begun. It's barely begun. There's videos and there's memes, and I've got messages of all kind. And there's going to be a lot of political drama, I think, notwithstanding anything that we recorded on Friday morning. Hey, that was fun, wasn't it? Frank, what time are you coming in today? Lock the door. Make sure that the lock is on, and put the post in this time. We got the little thing that slides into the, make sure that that's in. It's 6:32 in the morning and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan again.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Daily Post this morning, the Guam Police Department is supposed to obtain approval from an institutional review board if it intends to conduct a study on the effectiveness of its community-oriented policing strategy. That, according to a law that's been on the books for 20 years, Public Law 24-326 created an IRB at the University of Guam. The review board is tasked with reviewing all research activities and ensuring that the informed consent of all individuals participating in any research. UOG Office of Research and Development Interim Director Rachel Leon Guerrero says all research studies on island, even those approved by other off-island IRBs, should be run through the Guam IRB. When asked about the planned GPD survey, she said yes, it should go through the IRB here on island, and the UOG Committee on Human Research Subjects would be the appropriate choice. Guam Police Department has entered into a $56,000 agreement with the University of the South Pacific in Fiji to conduct the survey. The university created the 106-question survey with the help of police management. The plan is to distribute it house to house, utilizing AmeriCorps volunteers starting in January. A George Washington high school teacher accused of issuing bogus high school diplomas in exchange for cash has been released under a $15,000 personal recognizance bond. Andrea Manao Cruz appeared in Superior Court Friday afternoon. The Office of the Attorney General launched an investigation after receiving information from Guam Community College in late August concerning the applicants attempting to enroll at GCC with diplomas and transcripts issued by a private tutoring school called BAM, Believe, Achieve, and Motivate. Cruz is accused of providing approximately 300 students with BAM diplomas and transcripts. She's been charged with aggravated theft by deception, theft by impersonation, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. Guam Waterworks Authority may make changes to its back billing program amid ongoing complaints from customers. At a CCU meeting last week, Commissioner Simon Sanchez said he was receiving calls from customers who said they received back billing without prior notice, suddenly holding them accountable for much higher bills. Sanchez brought up the issue of a customer getting back billed for a period in 2017, but only getting the notice about a month ago. Guam Waterworks Authority suffered a higher than expected failure rate with the initial set of water meters it began installing back in 2012. The meters were incorrectly under-reading water usage, and customers have been back-billed to make up for the underbilling in years past. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thanks, Kevin. iConnect time is 6:35 here in the studios of The Point. iConnect's number is 888-8888. Call them and find out why they are the practical choice when it comes to your mobile, internet, and push-to-talk plans.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Traffic looking okay here this morning. What have I got? Southbound Marine Corps Drive around where Kmart and JFK is. A little bit of buildup here, but that's not unusual for this time of day. Route 16, the area by the overpass, underpass, is that area where people make that turn to either get onto Route 10 Alpha or keep heading up to Dededo. You might see a little bit of traffic moving through there as well. Not seeing anything else happening in front of Big Navy or Navy Hospital or Anderson Air Force Base. It looks good right now, 6:36. If you can get on the road, do it now. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
Here's the Guam I envision. An island where homelessness is obsolete, and the person standing on the side of the road is just waiting to cross the street. Where children will reach for a book instead of drugs. Where the discussion of expanding our prison is replaced by plans to build new schools. Where packed hospitals are replaced by crowded gyms. A Guam where poverty becomes the exception, not the norm. Where dropping out of school is unheard of and a college degree is expected. Where the military buildup becomes the Guam buildup because our people are presented with great opportunities. Education is the key to turning these into reality. That's why early childhood development, middle start, and tuition-free college are at the core of the Tenorio Ada platform. If you share the same vision for a stronger Guam, please vote Tenorio Ada. God bless us all, and God bless Guam.
I'm Ray Tenorio, and I approve this message.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show.
We're going to play that one again, right? That'll come up again? Okay. All right. He's talking about free education. Is there free gyms in there, too? Can we work on that? Like, can that be a thing? That should be a thing. I'd like that. 6:30 in the morning, 888-8888. 88. We're so close with the iConnects. There's just so many numbers with 8s on them. 888-8255 is my telephone number. It's all right. You know what? It's Monday. It's the Monday thing, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just I'm looking at some of the names here on Facebook Live, and I want to impress. I want to impress Verna. Yay! It's Monday, I say. And there's Lynn Perez, Vivian Cunningham, Yvette Ibanez. That's why I want to hear that commercial again. See, hey, Tony Babauta there. Office, my Washington, D.C. buddy. Joe Flores. Office says, good morning, Ray and Kev. Don't forget Mike's in there. Mers Garino is there. Ted Lewis. How can you not expand the prison? Been needed for years. Wait, where'd that part of the conversation come from? Expanding the prison? Oh, let's do that, can we? There's in my notes today. Thank you for distracting me. But there's a story, and I read a story like this about 2 or 3 times a week. And I will always, always, always take the opportunity to herald the incredible crime-fighting abilities of the Guam Police Department. You got officers of the law in a squad car driving down the road, and they see a guy at an intersection. He takes a turn without signaling, and they pull the guy over. And naturally, He's nervous about something. He's got sweat. He's got little drips, rivulets of sweat above his lips, and he's acting kind of nervously. And the policeman says, "What's up?" And investigation ensues primarily because of the nervousness. But Mark, just FYI, mark that down. The police pulled somebody over for failing to signal at a light at an intersection. Can I just say, I shouldn't admit this publicly, that could happen to me about 7 or 8 times a day, where I'll pull up to the intersection and I might decide then and there where I'm going. I'm just driving. I'm having a good old time, just hunky-dory cruising on Guam. I get to the intersection. I think I'll go that way.
I'm so meticulous in my adherence to the rules of the road that I totally aggravate those who are not.
Well, you ought to drive me around then. You should be my producer and chauffeur.
I got to get that license, man.
988-5874, that's 9. Anyway, so they pulled the guy over and imagine that, Jughead's got ice.
I ain't high, I'll tell you that, man.
But it was they found it. They had hollowed out or had a brush with a hollow in it. Is the story that I read this morning. But as I say, I herald the activities of the Guam Police Department. It's simple, basic police work. The guy, traffic infraction, moving violation, pull him over. He looks nervous. He's not as calm, cool, collected, and witty like Ray Gibson is on a Monday morning. Therefore, he must be hiding something. He's got and almost all the time it's methamphetamine that these guys are finding. Even the Maanyao story, the lady from BAM, has got that's got some questions about crystal methamphetamine use around it, doesn't it? She was found.
And the suspect in the Nauta killing as well.
Was methamphetamine? It has become the scourge, and my concern is that one of these days a police officer, like the one that pulled over this jughead on with the the lack of the signal, is going to go up against somebody that is all the way in on the meth. I mean, steps away from doing something ridiculous, and somebody is going to get hurt dead. I worry about that. It's the kind of thing we've got to figure out a way to get a handle on this. And what I think we're going to need to do, and I don't know the legal construct on how to say this. People are going, okay, get past it, Ray. Come on, get to the political gossip. I will, but this needs to be a bigger deal among people that are running for political office. They need to be spending more, because ask me, this is the major quality of life issue that we've got here on Guam. The people, I think, are afraid to be in some places off on their own because they're worried that some ICE guy is going to come up and steal their money or kill them. It's a real problem. You think about all of the crime that we have here on Guam. How much of it is based on guys that have got nothing better to do and figure I'm just going to go and see if I can break in somebody's house and get? It's all based on drugs. Steal from this guy, fence whatever it is that they steal, and try to turn that into today's fix. That's a real big problem. 988-5874 is the WhatsApp. If you're going to agree with me on that, that'd be fine. But hopefully we'll get around to having that conversation from among the politicians on what we're going to do to deal with this particular scourge. But I think the thing that we've got to do right away is when, like this guy here that got arrested and is probably going to get charged with possession of Schedule 2, I think we shouldn't let him out. There's another one of the bunch of stories that I like to read to you on a regular basis. It's a number of people that are getting busted by the police for doing something stupid, just a minor infraction that leads to an investigation, that leads to another charge. The cops call it in and they say, yeah, well, we saw this guy, it's Ray. And they said, well, bring him in, bring him back. This Ray is on pretrial release for something else that he did a couple of weeks ago. This is not a new story anymore. And I think what has to happen is if you get busted and it has anything to do with crystal methamphetamine, or you test positive for crystal methamphetamine, I'm sorry, we can't let you out. We can't let you out. And if for no other reason, provide some kind of drying off period for these guys. Yeah, I don't know how well that's going to work. If we send them to the Department of Corrections, they're just as likely to get dope up there as they are anywhere else.
Man, that's where you go to get the good stuff.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But there
what the
ought to
judge
be
said.
put them in a safe house, someplace where we can control the input and the intake, and maybe we'll hear of fewer cases of people getting in trouble while they're on pretrial release. We've got to solve that problem. 6:44 in the morning, and as I said, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that's floating around in my WhatsApps and on the internets. I got a text from somebody over the weekend, and it's one of those texts where I go, golly, I wish it was Monday morning already. I wish it was Monday morning already. They sent me a text with a link in it, and it was a link to the I'm In page on Facebook, and on that, I thought this was tectonic. I thought it was tectonic at a lot of different levels. Let me play for you, and I'm playing it not as a commercial or as an endorsement for the I'm In campaign. I'm just playing it because I think it is comment-worthy and it is somewhat newsworthy, the latest of the endorsements that Lou and Josh have received, including this one.
Half a day. I'm Madeline Bordallo. For over 60 years, I've spent my life serving you. Through the years, we've done so much. And those of us who have run for public office know that we run on our records and that we are judged by what we've done and what we've failed to do. My late husband, Ricky, imparted this teaching moment. In elections, we win some and we lose some. Personally, I know there's immense difficulty in defeat, but it doesn't serve the good of our island or our Democratic Party when we don't embrace the will of our people. So now more than ever, we need leaders who understand the issues and have a plan for the future. On November 6th, I'm voting for Lou and Josh, and I'm asking everyone who wants positive change to vote for them too. I'm in with Lou and Josh, so vote Democrat.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Well, that's interesting. Talks about basically, it's fun to win. Losing can be devastating. And she's got recent experience with that, too. Just lost to Mike St. Nicholas for the race for Congress.
This is true.
So she knows all about that kind of pain. And, wow. So she's tossed in for I'm In with Lou and Josh. And it's also kind of interesting, some of the commentary that we've got. I don't have all of the comments. I just like this one from Susan Mitchell. Says, in Jesus' name, amen. I'm sorry, that's the one that makes me smile the most. And there it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That was the thing. When I get this Saturday sometime, and since then, all I can think of is I got to get on the radio. I got to get on the radio and play this thing for the Facebook Lives, because it's possible that there are some people that haven't seen it. There might be a couple of other interesting videos that are floating around on the I'm In site, but that's the one. If you ask me, is that the one that could push Lou back over the top, get her up around 60.
If you haven't tuned in to the all-new
Stop that. We're not going to play that all the time. Just take out the part where she says you lost. Get over it. You don't have to play the whole thing. It's like 30 seconds. I got more stuff to talk about. I got more junk in my head floating around. Oh, that's interesting. Romeo Carlos, who is awake uncharacteristically early, or at least on Facebook Live uncharacteristically early, says, as several Guam blog readers have noted, she, that is MZB, should be endorsing Michael St. Nicholas. Where is that endorsement? Well, just there's only so much the lady can do. She is still the actual congressman representing Guam in Washington, D.C., and she managed to show up at the event on Friday night over at the Black Construction Company Yard for their 60th anniversary. And I must say that she was the best dressed of everybody that was there. Yeah, I was wearing my skinny pants. I look good, but she walks in her princess outfit that she wore to the Filipino Gala that also took place on Friday night. And won the award. They gave her the tiara, the 60th anniversary tiara, and a big bouquet of flowers, and she went on her merry way. And the thing is, I love Madeline Bordallo, and she can do no wrong. We had a program, and everything's timed right about down to the minute, and we're going to have this guy speak, and this guy's going to speak, and that guy's going to, and then there's going to be the congressional record thing. And Madeline kind of walks in and says, yeah, I got to go to the Filipino Gala. Can I go first? And the answer is, Yes, Congressman Berdalio, you may go first. I don't know that we would give that kind of thing to to just anybody. Who used the words teaching moment? Is that in a spot that I missed? Joe Legal says, I hope the island does not see the full wrath of what meth does to society. Besides opiates, it is by far one of the largest contributors to the overall breakdown of society in the U.S. mainland. Indeed, money needs to be invested in law enforcement to meet this threat with everything the local authorities can muster. I'll agree to a point. I will agree to a point on that one, and the reason is, I know that there's a deficit of cops. I like to think I know what the numbers are and how many more police officers, patrol cars that we need to have out there. We've got cops. They're making arrests. They're putting handcuffs on people. They're taking them in to get B and C'd, or at least B'd, the booked, over at the courthouse. But there's something else happens. There's this disconnect later on that takes place where they get in front of a judge and the judge says, okay, well, you're in big trouble, mister. And don't sin no more. But we're going to see you back here in this court. You better go lawyer up and get one of those nice courtroom haircuts and some nice clothes because you're in big trouble, mister. And in more cases, miss. Starting to see a lot more miss people showing up in the courts on these drug charges. And then they say, okay, go sin no more. And there's a happy reunion with the family. And then before you know it, they're back into drugs and they're back on the streets committing crimes, even though the lady at the court with the black robe and the gavel are waiting for them to come back in on the original charges. There's something that needs to be done there. There is a disconnect between what feels like impending judgment, justice, and punishment, and the fact that these guys can just lay out there. Mike St. Nicholas is on. Mike, have you talked to the Congresswoman about getting an endorsement for us? She did one for I'm In. Seems to me there ought to be one for you now that you are the people have spoken, right? Can we use that phrase?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. What were you were going to say?
I was just going to say the justice system here. It comes to mind. This was all developed a long time ago. All right. Back when Guam was a smaller place and everybody knew everybody, so we kind of looked out for each other. So a kid get in trouble, he go through the system, and then he's got auntie and uncle looking after him. Now, you walk down the street and go through the mall today, and you don't know half of the people you see. We need to adjust the system here to take into account that there are many people here that we just don't know, and we've got to be tougher. We can't just be all caring and feelings about this anymore.
Well, I didn't know you.
No, I don't know me either sometimes.
But, just as far as I know, you haven't done anything everybody's very, very generous with the benefit of the doubt around here.
Right.
I mean, but if you start screwing around, you start causing trouble, then I'm going to say, that guy Mike's not good for me. And I think we're going to have to break up is what I tell everybody. But, everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt until something like that starts to happen. But we're starting to see it happen, and there's too many people that, in my mind, are blind eye on this, and it got a patch over the other eye, so we're not seeing any of that. 6:52 in the morning. We'll escape that conversation and move on to a couple of other things that are in the table of contents. Guam Election Commission met on Friday. Thank goodness, and managed to clarify at least a couple of issues that were before them. One of them being that we've now figured out what the names are supposed to be, what the write-in names are that they have adopted, and they are. I don't have it in front of me. Do you, Kevin? You're pulling it up because you knew I was going to be talking about it. What? There's another one? Send me there's another.
Here it is. It's the names are Frank Uggan Jr. / Alicia Limtiaco.
Okay.
Or Frank Uggan, Alicia Limtiaco, or Uggan Limtiaco. And they've agreed to consider other variations on Election Day to see what pops up.
Oh, they have?
Yeah.
Okay, including one, because I got this, the guys that they printed up these cards or something like that have the instructions that you're supposed to take in?
Yeah, those are the cards from the Uggan Limtiaco camp, not the ones approved by the Guam Election Commission.
Well, apparently there's a misspelling on one of them. No, I'm serious. I'm going to see if I can throw it up on the deal. If not this hour, put it on Facebook Live in the next hour. Because it's not Limtiaco, it's Limtaco. They forgot something in there, dropped it. So you guys have got to go find all of those cards and bring them back, or you go back to the Election Commission and say, hey, can you adjust for a little bit of a misspelling here? in case there are people out there that don't know how to spell Lim Tiaco?
I think they'd accept that. Too.
All right.
A
Note here from somebody says, play the other one. There's another one? Send me the link to that. Please. I need it. 6:54 in the morning. It is the Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. So Maria Pangolina's on the line with me. Good morning, Maria. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, I did. Half a day, Ray Gibson.
Wasn't it nice to have the commission get together on Friday? Was that a happy little dinanya that you had there at the office?
It was productive, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. So among the things that we were able to check off, there's now at least 3 versions of Frank and Alicia that you're going to be looking for on the right insides on the ballot, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And now we've also answered the question about what happens if Kevin writes down Frank and Alicia on the Democratic side, but because, my family's Republican, write them down on the Republican side. So both of those votes will count.
That's correct.
All right, and
the same candidate.
And the Election Commission has spoken, and that's the way it's going to be. So was there anything else that you guys managed to chip away at on Friday?
We addressed 4 letters, and so that was it was from Mr. Ken Leonguero, the Ugganim Chaco team, and then the Political Action Committee.
Mm-hmm.
They put up. They're going to talk about at a later meeting, and then is there another one, Ray? I think that was it.
The Political Action Committee, there was the deal, Fisher looking to get some kind of clarity from the Election Commission on whether or not Lou was conflicted because she's a Leon Guerrero and they have a bank and the government of Guam does a lot of business with her bank.
The commission established that it wasn't within their purview.
Go and talk to the Ethics Council.
That's correct.
That doesn't exist. So the Ethics Commission that apparently doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct. Well, it hasn't been. Ray Gibson. It has since the passing of the law. I believe someone said that it was never. Nobody ever put together the commission.
That's my understanding as well. But isn't there? Don't we have statute that says if there's a law that calls for a commission, if it is not executed in a certain amount of time, then the law becomes null and void?
That I don't know.
This is not a new subject. It's something that is ringing familiar in my ear. When I was reading that in the Post's write-up and their summary of it, there was something that rang familiar in my ears. And it seems to me there is statute that says if you've got a bill that turns into a law, but it's not put together properly, then it becomes null and voided after a while. I got to dig that. I'll go find Bob Klitsky and see what he's got to say about it. There's still work to be done over at the Election Commission. We're still shooting for an election a little more than 3 weeks away?
Oh, there's plenty of work, sir. In-office voting is still going on from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We are still servicing homebound voters, so please call us if you need to be serviced at the house if you are truly homebound. And registration will continue this week until the 26th. But district registration is going on from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night at every mayor's office except Agutnia and at the Guam Election Commission.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that more as the days elapse between here and, as you point out, the 25th. I was sorry I was wrong. It was not less than it is less than 3 weeks away. It's almost 2 weeks away. 15 days from today is when we're going to be having the election.
Yes, sir. And counting down.
and counting. And then it's all over. After that, we'll just count it, figure out who the winner is, and then we'll start making plans for the next big election in 2 years, right?
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I think one of the things that we're all going to have to do is start reviewing, for the purposes of 50% plus one, start reviewing what counts in terms of ballots, how we're going to get to that numerator, what will count towards that number, what will not count towards that number. What do we do with spoiled ballots? Do they count? Do they not count? I'm going to spend some time with the election laws because I think that's going to be a big question as we get closer and closer to the election. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Thank you so much, Ray Gibson.
Okay, Maria Pangolina, you have a terrific day. The radio station is KUSG Hagutnia. We are 93.3 The Point. Oh, look, I have a link for another video I can play off the internet. Aren't you glad that I can do that? Aren't you happy I've got that capability on Facebook Live? So we'll play around with that technology and more of the political gossip and current events as the program continues. Now, Fox News Live on The Point.
The caravan coming closer. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. Thousands of migrants resuming their march toward the U.S.-Mexico border.
They busted through Honduras, they went through Guatemala, and now they're trying to tackle Mexico. Right now, they are north of that river, north of the bridge that you saw people on yesterday. So last night, people got frustrated on the bridge. I think Mexico's processed about 640 people. And to get a visa for potentially asylum here could take 45 to 90 days. People got frustrated. They weren't worth it. So last night, in rafts, across the river, swimming. People came in droves.
Fox's William Lajeunesse in Tapachula, Mexico. President Trump threatening to close the border if the migrants are not stopped. The day of reckoning approaches for Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Steve Rosenstein will be interviewed in closed session Wednesday by the chairman and ranking Democrats on both the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees. Representative Bob Goodlatte, the Judiciary chairman, said on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures, this setup means a more secure setting,
where you have the opportunity to ask any question that needs to be asked and not have concern about it not being in a classified setting and not be concerned about leaks.
Rosenstein will be asked about plans to secretly record the president to show discord in the White House. Democrats say Republicans are using this to undermine the special counsel's Russia probe. Steve.
Gernal, Saudi Arabia's foreign minister, offering condolences to the family of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The kingdom saying he was killed during a fistfight at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Adel Ajubir in an exclusive interview with Fox's Brett Baer.
The individuals who did this outside the scope of their authority. There obviously was a tremendous mistake made, and what compounded the mistake was the attempt to try to cover up.
Many lawmakers scoffing at the Saudis' explanation. This is Fox News.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K premium coffee, any size, and after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Tunay na kaibigan na handa para sa inyo. Ang bangko ng kinabukasan, laging maaasahan. Bank Pacific, where others dug branches, we place roots.
President Trump continuing his midterm election campaign blitz with a trio of rallies this week.
The Democrats need to flip 23 seats in the House to take control. As for the Senate, a closer balance of power with 49 Democrats and 51 Republicans. But in 10 states that voted for Trump in 2016, a Democratic incumbent is up for re-election. But Republicans have been working overtime to make sure the Dems don't make any surprise steals.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. Good news at the gas pumps.
We have a nickel decline in the average price of regular grade to $2.92. In fact, there might be a little more to come. Crude oil prices have dropped, and refiners are passing through these drops into the wholesale gasoline market.
Oil analyst Trilby Lundberg says San Francisco has the highest price in the continental U.S. at $3.85 per gallon. Charleston, South Carolina has the lowest at $2.55. A frozen food company from Minnesota recalling months' worth of products after learning they've been contaminated with bacteria.
More than 200,000 pounds of frozen, ready-to-eat pork and chicken products are being recalled by Buddy's Kitchen of Burnsville, Minnesota, because the vegetables in the food products were found to be tainted with both salmonella and listeria. The discovery was made by the company supplying the vegetables to Buddy's, but the vegetables were used in food made as far back as October of last year. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says there have been no reports of people getting sick due to this contamination, but is still asking people not to eat it. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The odds are slimmer than slim, but you have a chance to win more than $2 billion this week. No Powerball winner last night pushes the jackpot to an estimated $620 million, and the Mega Millions prize soaring to $1.6 billion. The next drawing for that big prize is Tuesday night. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
30 years ago, I moved to Guam from the Philippines to make a better life for my family. I work hard every day. We struggled, but I was happy to do it for my kids. I will do anything to protect my family, but I don't feel safe. I don't see police patrolling the villages like I used to. Guam is not the same. Criminals are getting braver because they know we don't have enough police officers. The Lieutenant Governor says public safety is a priority. He's been in the office for 8 years and had the chance to do something to make us safer, but he didn't. I'm tired of empty promises. I want someone who's going to get the job done. That's why I'm voting for Lou and Josh. Sa Nobyembre Essays, ako po ay boboto para kay Lou at Josh. At inaanyahan ko po kayong lahat na maniwala na mayroon tayong karapatan na maramdaman na ligtas ang pagboto sa kanila. Ako po si Bobby Gopez. Maraming salamat po.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this ad.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Calvo started with a simple handshake. As we celebrate 80 years, we extend a hand to all of you who have taken our hand in trust, to the dreamers and realists, the families, the businesses, the young at heart and the old souls, our manumku and our children. From all of us to all of you, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. 24-year-old Brandon Michael Acosta being held on $300,000 cash bail for the June 16th murder of 15-year-old Tamika Jadine Nauta. Acosta was arrested Friday evening by Guam police and brought before Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan Saturday afternoon. He's been charged with aggravated murder, home invasion, aggravated assault, burglary, criminal trespass, possession, and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. Acosta was already in custody on burglary charges when, according to the magistrate's report, he told another inmate that he killed Nauta. He was brought in for questioning by police and reportedly confessed. He blamed the killing on his meth addiction and said he made a mistake. According to the report, Acosta said that after praying, he believes his spirit has now been set free because he confessed. Acosta's next scheduled appearance is set for October 30th. The Guam Police Department is supposed to obtain approval from an institutional review board if it intends to conduct a study on the effectiveness of its community-oriented policing strategy. That, according to a law that's been on the books for 20 years. Public Law 24-326 created an institutional review board at the University of Guam. The board is tasked with reviewing all research activities and ensuring the informed consent of all individuals participating in any research. UOG Office of Research and Development Interim Director Rachel Leon Guerrero said all research studies on Guam, even those approved by other off-island IRBs from other institutions, should be run through the Guam IRB. When asked about the planned GPD survey, she said yes, it should go through the IRB here on island, and the UOG Committee on Human Research Subjects would be the appropriate choice. Guam Police Department has entered into a $56,000 agreement with the University of the South Pacific in Fiji to conduct the survey. The university created the 106-question survey with the help of Guam Police Management. The plan is to distribute the voluntary survey house to house, utilizing AmeriCorps volunteers starting in January. We'll have more news after this.
Meet all the candidates up close and personal and find out why they deserve your vote. On Saturday, October 27th, you can meet them face-to-face during Micronesia Mall's one-on-one with the candidates. From 1 to 4 p.m., you can ask the tough questions, exchange views, express your concerns, or just get to know your candidates better. Hosted by Ray Gibson and broadcast on 93.3 The Point with the Facebook Live feed courtesy of Shooting Star Productions. Go one-on-one with the candidates Saturday, October 27th, only at Micronesia Mall.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. A George Washington High School teacher accused of issuing bogus high school diplomas in exchange for cash has been released on a $15,000 PR bond. Andrea Manao Cruz appeared in Superior Court Friday. She's been charged with aggravated theft by deception, impersonation, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. The Office of the AG launched an investigation after Guam Community College officials raised concerns about applicants trying to enroll with diplomas issued by a private tutoring school called BAM, Believe, Achieve, and Motivate. Cruz started that tutoring school late last year, and she's accused of issuing 300 BAM diplomas and transcripts, according to the magistrate report. Cruz is also facing drug charges after investigators found pipes in her possession with residue that was consistent with methamphetamine. Guam Election Commission on Friday accepted 3 names for the gubernatorial write-in campaign of Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and his running mate, Alicia Lim Tiaco. The acceptable names are Frank Uggan Jr., Alicia Lim Tiaco, Frank Uggan, Alicia Lim Tiaco, and Uggan Lim Tiaco. The commission also agreed to consider other variations beyond those 3 when the ballots are counted on November 6th. The commission did also agree to count Uggan Lim Tiaco write-ins on both sides of the ballot, whether they're written under the Republican or Democratic column. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
All right, the weather forecast today, partly cloudy skies, isolated showers, east winds up to about 15 miles an hour. Daytime highs about 90 degrees, and overnight lows will be turning at 78 degrees. Sunset tonight, 5:58. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 6:12. And as I said, guys over at the National Weather Service and looks like JTWC now looking at TD 31 whiskey expected to affect the Marianas midweek. Mike has found the prognostication, what do they call this thing?
This is the forecast track graphic here from the JTWC. As you can see, right now the forecast, the consensus is that the storm will pass through the northern portion of the islands. If it takes this track, we will actually see very little from it because we'll be well over 150 miles from the center of the storm. Maybe just a little bit of wind, some showers. It shouldn't be too bad for us. But again, the track can and will change between now and then, so just stay tuned.
All right, and we will make contact every day and as often as we have to with the folks over at the National Weather Service and get an update on what is going to be happening with this. I hate to be as critical as I am about this, but is there any chance that we'll have a working radar set by the time this thing comes out here? I mean, it's talking about CPA up around in this region is going to be on what, late the 24th, early the 25th, Zulu?
Yeah, so we're looking at Wednesday, Thursday. Don't think it's going to get, but they haven't given any updates on the progress of their repairs. So all I know is they did have to order a complete motor that actually drives the things. And I guess that's kind of a specialized piece of equipment. Could still be a while.
I told you, it's like a swimming pool motor. Right? You know, if it's any regular motor you can pick up at the store, you can get something used for like $35, $40, something like that. But if you paint it swimming pool blue, that's a $500 motor, right?
Nice.
You say, yeah, we're from the National Weather Service. We need the 20-horse motor. Oh, National Weather Service? That's $1,000. That's $1,000, and you got to sign the maintenance contract, and you got to do all of this other stuff. But we'll paint it blue if it makes you feel better. It's 7:14. That's news and weather together right here on The Point.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
It's already 7:15 in the morning, and you might be thinking about lunch. Can I throw another, just a word at you, a concept? The concept is flavor, and they've got a cheesesteak at Subway. In fact, they got a lot of flavors at Subway, but in this case, they've got the Chipotle cheesecake. Can you imagine the Chipotle slices, the spices, and the cheesesteak on top of that? And we're throwing some cheese on top of it, get it all melty, and then put it on whatever bread it is that you like, and all the condiments and the flavors that you want to add to that, to kick that Chipotle up a couple of notches. So you laugh like I'm saying it wrong. Stop that. Don't laugh when I say Chipotle. What?
That's not the part, but it's okay.
You sure?
Good stuff, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to throw trash in your bed. That's what I'm going to do. It's anyway, so find the Chipotle cheesesteak. That's Subway.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
quarter after 7 o'clock in the morning, portions of the program brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes. What else do we got here? My friends over at American WaterTech, smarter water, better water. American President Lines, where they're shipping the future. Let me see who else here. Micronesia Renewable Energy, where there's never been a better time to go solar. And Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Hi there. Was it a pleasant weekend? Did you have a good time? Is there any trouble? Am I talking to anybody right now that went out Friday night and was having a really, really good time that just got out of a magistrate hearing, that just got magistrated? That's probably not until noon anyway, right? Just checking. Because it was that kind of, I think it had the potential to certainly be that kind of weekend. It's a whole heck of a lot of partying that was going on. And like I said, even as many of those that I tried to touch on, to try to be a part of, I was still running into people yesterday saying, dude, we were looking for you on Saturday night. What happened? It was biblical. It was crazy. And the truth of the matter is, I wanted to go on a boat ride yesterday with my daughter and some friends. So I made it a point to be home, comfortable, with the sheets up to here, right about up to the neck. Huh? So there wasn't going to be anything, including a crazy hangover, to get in the way of me having a good time. And we did. We went out on the 10-3, Jackie's boat, the 10-3 yesterday. As I said, a bunch of friends and goofing off out in the water. We were not hunting. Got to be careful how I use this word. I don't want to get in trouble for it. We were looking for dolphins. And managed to find a little school of dolphins over by Shelton Cut. I don't know. There were a lot of people fishing out there, so maybe it's possible that you saw them as well. And we found a place to hook the boat up and jumped in the water a couple of times. Absolutely great morning. And as we're making our way back to Boat Basin, all of a sudden the rain began to fall. And I was originally thinking, this is just one of those little showers that we get from time to time. And it kept going until it got to be dinner time.
Yeah. And it was frustrating for me because without radar, I have no idea knowing what's actually falling. And you looked on the satellite yesterday and you did not see it. I mean, it was just right there over the island, one of those weird things, and it just
stayed. I mean, the National Weather Service, didn't they come out with a
flood advisory?
A flood advisory. There was enough of that going on. There was a flood advisory, but that wasn't the best. Okay, they're goofing off on the boat with my friends and my daughter. Now that was a big deal yesterday. I enjoyed that. I had a great time there. It is a highlight of the weekend. I don't know if I want to call it the highlight of the weekend. It is Saturday. A friend of mine, Nikki, Hair Like Fire. And Nikki is in the IT world, so they had a nerd party for her on Saturday night, and everybody was there, dressed up like nerds. Like nerds, yeah, and with the glasses and the masking tape around the center of it. It was just really, really nice. Yeah, ink stains, pocket protectors, had ink stains, and so it was a really, really good time. And somebody's kid, I forget whose kid it was, it might have been Joel's kid, walking around with fries. And somebody had already offered me these fries, and I'm not a French fry guy, because I'm very specific about my diet these days. Trying to keep it down to trying to keep a tight control of the calories that I'm taking, because there's marathons and half marathons and things like that coming up. So a buddy of mine, Carlos, says try these. They're called Tokyo fries, and I said no, that's okay. I don't. It's fries. I don't need the extra calories here. I could tell by looking. There was already mayonnaise on top of this thing. And so he took off. He finished it. He scarfed it all down. But the kid was walking around, and the kid offered me, some of these Tokyo fries. Now, I know this old rule from my dad. You never turn anything down from a child.
Right.
And so I reached over and put a fork into a couple of these Tokyo fries. So imagine crispy fries with the Japanese, what do they call it? The Kewpie doll mayonnaise. Have you ever seen that in the little plastic squeeze bottle? Oh, my God. So good and good for you. And bulldog sauce, Japanese bulldog sauce. Kid never saw it coming. That kid never saw it coming. Hey, look, there's Baby Wolf over there. You should got Trunko. And then just kept eating from his. So that was kind of one of the highlights of my Saturday night was absconding with Tokyo fries from Poke Fry from a little kid. I'll never turn that stuff down.
But were they made of potatoes?
Again. Yes, actual potatoes. Actual potatoes on the inside. Nothing nouveau cuisine about it. It's not like they did a thing with yams or sweet potatoes or stuff like that. It's just plain old regular Ore-Ida potatoes with Kewpie mayonnaise on it and Japanese bulldog sauce. And my mouth is watering for that right now. 7:21 in the morning. Hey, look, there's Jerry Roberts. How you doing there, buddy? Did you have a good weekend too?
I had a restful weekend. Just kind of stayed in and just stayed in and enjoyed the family.
Was there binge watching anything on television? No. Was there reading?
No.
No?
Yeah, reading. We read.
Yeah. Anything interesting?
Always interesting.
Okay. That's his way of saying I can't remember.
No, I remember.
Well, you're not going to tell me?
We
is this stuff you're going to turn into a riff?
No, actually.
A riff on that for 2.5 minutes on the Extra Point 5 times this week.
We did kind of a little family worship inside the house. A little bit of that. And our boy was going out to do stuff, and we had kind of some fun with him and just kind of ran around and
enjoyed the weekend.
There was a movie that I actually saw that I had never heard of before, done by Disney, called Inside Out. Ever heard of that?
No, it's not on my checklist of Disney that I know of.
It's done by Pixar. It's an animation, and it deals with the basic emotions: anger, fear, joy, happiness.
Yes, I have seen that movie. Yes.
I never heard of it before.
We're running the gamut of all of those emotions during the election.
Yeah, exactly. And it was mesmerizing. If you get a chance, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere or what, but if you get a chance to get that movie called Inside Out, it explains emotions in a way that you'll get it. If you've never really understood why certain things happen and all that, I mean, I was just a doctor recommended it, and he was in the viewing audience. He'd seen it before, And we sat there with a small group of people. I was just like, my eyes never left the screen. It was just amazing.
You're right. It is an interesting, very interesting movie, entertaining movie. And so I think there's some of the characters, including the angry guy character, right?
Yeah,
with the hair, the fire shoots out of the top of his head.
Yeah.
And I think we could use a meme like that here associated with one or two or maybe all of the gubernatorial candidates. Because you can just see, it's like you could do like put Lulian Guerrero's face on the angry guy character and tell her, hey, Frank Uggin's going to be in the debate this weekend, and then like a little volcano thing shoots out the top of her head. Hey, it's actually happening. Don't laugh. 724. Real quick, let me just because I haven't looked at the market yet. I was killing time waiting for you to come in and get cozy.
I appreciate it.
S&P 500 off by like a point on Friday. Virtually an undetectable move here. NASDAQ at 74.49. They're only off by 36 points. Dow Jones Industrial Average staged a little bit of a comeback. I say a little bit because it's a 0.25% here. 65 points up for the Dows. 25,444. And since it's green, I'm going to say, you know why? Because Trump, that's why. FTSE's at 7,049, up by 22 points. Nikkei is off by 126, barely worth mentioning. Hang Seng is at 25,561, and the Shanghai at 2550. DAX is off by about 35 points to close at 11,553. We're trading oil. That was like a pig snort I made there with my... Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Got a million sound effects here. We just don't know which ones to play, but that one is Johnny on the spot. Good job there, buddy. Gold at $1,228 for an ounce of that. Oil under $70 for a barrel, $69.12, which is lower than what it was the first time I looked at it this morning. It was $69.28, but $69.12. I'll go ahead and take that. Tapis crude was trading last week around $83.89. Today at $80.82. So I'm hoping that is going to be some kind of trend. We start watching those numbers fall backwards as the regular markets begin to fall. You would think there would be a little bit more downward pressure, but I think there's still a lot going on with the Saudi Arabia and the response to that journalist getting his fingers chopped off digit by digit.
Yeah, I think that's kind of dying down though. But to go back to the Tapis price, that's almost a $10 difference in just about a week and a half, because it was almost near 90. Just a week ago Wednesday?
Yeah, very volatile market.
Yeah, so
that we seem to be in right now,
that.
and we were looking at West Texas beginning to trade lower as well. I mean, remember how much high, almost $80 for a barrel of that stuff in the last few days. So we're seeing a little bit of big ups, big downs here. We've seen the markets do the same thing, up by 500, down by 500.
Tapis is how much?
Tapis today at $80.82.
I just know I went down
prices.
I went down and put 20 in the gas on Friday, barely a half tank. Man, I remember when I couldn't even put $20 worth of gas in a car like that.
Yeah, I mean $10, fill it up.
A 10-point swing. I mean, they went to 89, the prices went up. We're down by 80, prices should go.
Well, you would think they're going to go down, but they'll tell us they still have to pay for that $89 stuff they had to buy.
Yeah, we bought a big tanker of it, and we got a whole lot of it at this price, and we've got to sell it all at that price before we can...
Then why should the stuff in the ground...
Because they paid for it.
...inherit the new price? And then why shouldn't the stuff in the ground inherit the lower price?
I don't know when those things are happening, so I can't say. I know what you're saying.
I think they should let us decide.
The bigger question is how it is possible that you've got three different organizations, three different marketing departments, three different HR departments, three different corporate entities, but they all come out with the same price.
That was actually answered. I interviewed the gentleman that was running Shell for several years, a gentleman named, I believe Eloy. And if I get his last name, and I apologize for that if he's listening. But he said, he simply said this: there's no reason to compete. In a market of three stations, there is no reason to get into gas wars here. And you kind of go to the, yeah.
I suppose.
That
makes sense.
Yeah,
Here we are.
He was point blank and said that, and it kind of made a lot of sense. So what are you going to do?
But every once in a while, it'll be fun.
It would be fun.
In fact, the guys at Shell, when they opened up that new place in Harmon a couple of months ago, they had I forget which it was a particular grade of gas that they.
I gotta catch a bus.
Yeah. So a particular grade that they had kind of an introductory special on, and the line went all the way back to the Micronesia Mall that particular day, and naturally I got word that it was happening after I'd already filled my tank with gasoline,
and then you have to
decide. They didn't have any room for it.
Yeah. Do you want to sit in line for 8 hours, and to get a couple cents off your gasoline?
The answer is never. 7:28 in the morning, and time for the extra point. Here's Jerry Roberts.
He is the richest man in the world, and he says even before earning billions of dollars, he'd already scored by being a lottery winner. And the good news is he's talking about you and me, too. That's up next on the Extra Point. The richest man in the world, that fellow was Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon. And I've had my fun with Jeff and some of his peculiarities, or his company's peculiarities and selling policies. Today, however, I want to share an idea he has that all of us can benefit from. At a leadership forum this past April, Bezos was asked about his taking risks in building Amazon into the retail giant it has become, now selling virtually everything you can think of, buying into the retail grocery business, then on to convenience stores and more. He had no experience in some of those areas, and huge amounts of money were at stake. To that, Bezos said that taking risks was easier when you have a good support system. He wasn't talking about having a big investor backing him up, but support in a different way. He said when you have mentors and people who love you, that it's easier to jump off into uncharted terrain and something new because you have a support system of one type or another. Then Bezos said something that made me start writing today's Extra Point. He said, I've won a lot of lotteries in my life. Amazon was one of those lotteries. I won a big lottery with my parents. If I'm going to jump into the middle of his quote here, it's for a good reason. I want you to be focused on what comes next. Bezos continued, my dad was a Cuban immigrant. He came here when he was 16 years old and didn't speak a word of English. My mother had me when she was 17, so she was pregnant at 16 when she was going to high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which was not cool. Somehow, she made it all work with the help of my grandparents. Bezos went on to say that everybody needs to have this in order to have the mindset to take those risks that lead to success. So, have you won a lottery like that? Was it with parents or grandparents, friends, or maybe an employer who took the time to mentor you? Most successful people can point back to the people in their life who made a decision to make a difference. This is true for people in all walks of life and at all socioeconomic levels. In Guam, there have been literally thousands who have won the lottery in this way. I'm guessing if you look back over your life, you'd tell me you were one of those winners. And now, maybe you'd feel great by helping somebody else be a winner. Think who it is in your life who needs that support to get further and do better. Is it someone in your family, someone you go to work with, someone you go to church with, someone who needs somebody to step up and provide a helpful word, a guiding hand, that little bit of extra attention that can help them get to the next level? You have the knowledge in some area that somebody else needs. Who can you help to win that lottery? Look around. Somebody needs you. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 in the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
What a great new way to say, go ahead, count your blessings.
Count your blessings.
That's all
and
right.
Be a mentor to somebody else.
7:31 in the morning, that's the Extra Point. For details, go to GuamTraining.com on the World Wide Web. More Jerry. Are you double Jerry tomorrow? Are you going to be in the Daily Post and here?
Yeah, they said tomorrow.
Okay. Do you remember what you wrote?
No.
We submit that weeks and weeks ago. All right, well, there's Jerry. He's going to take care of a couple of things in another studio that we've got here at the radio station. I think it is 7:32 in the morning. Headlines with Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post coming up next.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
before we head into the headlines, let's see if there's traffic today. Wow, southbound Marine Corps Drive. Imagine that. From about Sangsong over to Weddingale over at the rugby field where we got the new flea market place. And then it'll clear up for a second. But as you get closer to 1 and 3, I think that's going to get heavy up again as, where is it, 7:32, maybe another 10 minutes, something like that. From the Dedito Sports Complex all the way south, we're looking at traffic building up at the intersection over by Cost You Less. And let me see, anything else you got to worry about? Marine Corps Drive from about where, and this is odd, normally things get better once you pass St. John's. But in this case, around the St. John's area, things are starting to busy up until you get to Kmart and the JFK intersection. In the Tamuning area, we got some happening on, where's that? Domino's is over there. We got Days Inn over there. Okay, I see it. Epow Road is outbound traffic towards Marine Corps Drive is a little bit heavy right now. A lot of cars. They all seem to be moving the speed limit, but there's just plenty there. And you might see a line of traffic right now getting into Navy Hospital in Agana Heights. Nothing happening in Sumai, nothing happening at Anderson Air Force Base, and that's enough time for traffic here on The Point.
30 years ago, I moved to Guam from the Philippines to make a better life for my family. I worked hard every day. We struggled, but I was happy to do it for my kids. I will do anything to protect my family, but I don't feel safe. I don't see police patrolling the villages like I used to. Guam is not the same. Criminals are getting braver because they know we don't have enough police officers. The Lieutenant Governor says public safety is a priority. He's been in the office for 8 years and had the chance to do something to make us safer, but he didn't. I'm tired of empty promises. I want someone who's going to get the job done. That's why I'm voting for Lou and Joss. Sa Nobyembre 6, ako po ay boboto para kay Lou at Joss. At inaanyahan ko po kayong lahat na maniwala na mayroon tayong karapatan na maramdaman na ligtas ang pagboto sa kanila. Ako po si Bobby Gopez. Maraming salamat po.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this ad.
Paid for by the committees to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
7:34, and again, one of my favorite things about doing the radio on Facebook Live is the immediate feedback, the reaction of people for things that I say, things that other callers might say, and things that Jerry says. Nerissa Underwood says, thank you, Jerry, for the reminder about the power of our family and community support to transform lives, one life at a time. And that's sweet. 7:35 headlines now from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, Senator Tom Atta appealing to the Office of the Attorney General to correct what he views as an error in the Department of Revenue and Taxation's interpretation of the 2019 budget law. In a letter to Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, Senator Atta, who chairs the legislature's Appropriations Committee, expressed concern that Rev and Tax's decision to postpone implementation of the property tax increase will unnecessarily force a multi-million-dollar deficit in the current fiscal year and needlessly intensify our government's daily struggle for cash, he wrote. Public Auditor Benjamin Cruz called attention to the issue in a news release last week, noting that Rev and Tax decided not to assess the property tax increase mandated in the budget law until fiscal year 2020, even though the proceeds for that tax increase are already allocated to be spent this fiscal year. Failure to collect the tax this fiscal year creates an immediate deficit of $8.1 million, which is the amount the tax increase was expected to raise. Over the next few weeks, a team of enumerators working for the U.S. Census Bureau will be going door to door throughout the island to count the number of compact migrants living on Guam. The 2018 Compact of Free Association enumeration is required by law. It's done every 5 years. It's been done every 5 years since 2003. And Dramaki Mason is one of 2 U.S. Census Bureau employees on island now supervising the survey. She told the Guam Daily Post that they're conducting a scientifically selected sample to measure population shifts since the last survey. The results determine how much each of the 4 affected jurisdictions get from the $30 million that is set aside by Congress each year to help cover the costs of services provided to compact migrants. Guam is home to the largest number of compact migrants. As a result, Guam has received the largest share of compact impact funding over the years, about $14.9 million in 2017. Leroy Foster, a retired Air Force veteran who was a pivotal voice in calling Congress's attention to alleged exposure of the herbicide Agent Orange on Guam during the Vietnam War, has died at his home in Florida. The Speaker of the Guam legislature, Senator Therese Terlahi, issued a statement Friday expressing her sadness at his passing. She noted that Foster was relentless in his fight to expose the truth of Agent Orange use on Guam. During the Vietnam War, Foster served at Andersen Air Force Base, where he said he sprayed tens of thousands of gallons of Agent Orange in and around Andersen and along the fuel lines that ran from the Navy's Sassa Valley Fuel Farm to the air base. He was later diagnosed with 5 different cancers and 28 autoimmune diseases, which he attributed to his exposure to Agent Orange while stationed here on Guam. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
I got you. It's 7:38. That's iConnect time. Swing by or call iConnect at 888-8888 and find out why they are the practical choice. Great rates, great plans for mobile, internet, even push-to-talk at iConnect.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agate, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igomamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Cold Stone Creamery. I just like saying it that way. Invite you to try banana bread battered ice cream and sea salt caramel ice cream made with premium Ghirardelli sea salt caramel sauce. Ice cream sauce in a new creation. Cold Stone Creamery celebrating 30 years of the ultimate ice cream experience.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Has it already been 10 minutes? And in 10 minutes, I'm watching a line of traffic begin to develop in front of Andersen Air Force Base. Looking at the line of traffic southbound Marine Corps Drive just before you get to Isang Song. And then it looks like it's going to clear up for you. Still not seeing that bulge of traffic over by 1 and 3, but I'm sure it is coming. What have we got here? A couple of things that are messing on Upper Tumon. Southbound Marine Corps Drive is meeting up with traffic coming out of Tumon on Santos Hill. Expect some delays as traffic is beginning to build up from there. Things actually going slower in front of Andersen Air Force Base, AB Wanpat International Airport. Got to throw in the AB Wanpat thing in every once in a while so people will know which one I'm talking about. This is the one. It's got those intersections coming out of Home Depot and coming down from the airport and long wait times at that light. It was working when I went through it this morning, so I don't think there's going to be anything major for you. 8, 10, and 16 from the post office all the way to the intersection by Golden Sea. That one good intersection into Tiedzen is beginning to get full. Yeah, traffic coming out of Route 10 onto 8, 10, and 16 also getting a little bit thick. In front of Navy Hospital, and am I starting to see any buildup in Sumai? No, just those locations right now. I'll take another look. I'll try to take another look at it before it gets to be 8 o'clock in the morning. In the meantime, 19 away from 8 on the point.
Docomo Pacific is making the Better Together bundle even better. 2 great services plus more. Get unlimited local calls, SMS, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet for $109 a month. Sign up today and get free installation and choose between a free Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, or $100 off select devices. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
Yes, cool. Put that groovy hippity hop music in the background so I can talk. I should be able to rap over this, right? One of these days I'll get those skills and be a DJ. 7:42 in the morning, 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. Hit me on the WhatsApp, 988-5874. That number is 988-5874. And I will say this about that. I have never been more delighted. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a techie guy. I love the technology. I like something you can put batteries into or you can recharge, and it does something. Right? Bluetooth speakers. I don't want to say that's my latest obsession, but it's something that I spent a lot of time thinking about is Bluetooth speakers. And what I'd like to be able to set up in my house, I don't know if this is possible, is being able to walk around with my phone that goes to a Bluetooth and I'm in the kitchen, right? So I can listen to my Earth, Wind, and Fire or my cool Duran Duran songs or, whatever, my Kenny Loggins stuff in the kitchen. And then when I walk to the living room, the Bluetooth follows to the Bluetooth player there. And then when I go to the bedroom, because I might want to iron clothes or something like that, or fold clothes, put stuff away, then it goes on to the Bluetooth that's in that room. And finally, when I go to the bathroom. Anyway, 988-5874. But I've never been happier about the being able to take things off of the WhatsApp, as it were, or really any email account, and being able to play it for you on Facebook Live. I think the technology is incredible. I'm delighted that you can send me things that I can play and put on the air. In fact, on the WhatsApp just a little bit ago, I played the video of Madeline Berdalio endorsing Lou and Josh. And in her way of endorsing Lou and Josh and definitely not endorsing Frank. You can't call me on that number. You can only WhatsApp me things. Don't call the number. Send me funny memes. And so I played that, and somebody said, play the other one. And they sent another link to a completely different deal. And I'd like to play it, but I'm not going to, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it is too long. It's 5 minutes. It's a 5 minute long kill, death hit piece. Number two, not only is it 5 minutes long, it doesn't have an announcer on it. It doesn't have somebody reading the words to you. So as interesting and compelling as some of the points in this kill, death hit piece are, this is the audio that we get from the thing. It comes out with a big, bold words in the front. It says, your election is rigged. Go ahead and put the audio up so people can... There are more people than you think who are affiliated with Lou and Josh. Now, this is me reading. There should be somebody there that's reading all of this stuff underneath the scary question everybody's motivation music. Can you hear it? So here they are, exposed. Somebody should be saying that. And it goes on to start talking about people with, what I'm looking at it going, okay, so this lady here likes Lou and Josh on her Facebook page, but because she works at the Guam Election Commission, she ought to have that on her page. That's a little bit too close for comfort. And it goes on like that for another 4.5 minutes with this. Listen to the music in the background. Which Friday the 13th movie is this from? I'm just saying, guys, if you're going to do a kill, death hit piece, hire an announcer. You don't have to hire somebody from around here that anybody's voice is going to be recognized. What you do is you go to a place called Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and send a script down to somebody. There's a ton of guys with deep voices, and they'll do it for like $25, and you get an MP3 3 hours later. Just saying. Can we just... Enough with the scary music and stuff. Put an announcer behind it, and make them shorter. Make them shorter. Just do that if you
Man, I'll do
me.
it for a 6-pack.
I think I'm going to leave that there because, I sometimes feel the same. Yes, I would lower myself to all kinds of indignities for a 6-pack of the grapefruit shandy. I don't know who makes it. I can't pronounce the name of the company that brews that stuff, but that's tasty. It's 7:46, and the Ray Gibson Show on and underway. My very close friend, personal friend, and a candidate for the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. I have to disclose that before we get into the conversation. Good morning, Si.
An existing commissioner. So I guess you get to ask me hard questions. Although I was enjoying being on hold, it seems to be a lot more interesting things going on these days.
Isn't it? Oh, my. Yeah, but you still got to have these other topics to roll into every once in a while, because it's a pocketbook pocket. There are people, or topic. There are people that are interested in this, and I look at it and go, well, there, but for the grace of God, go I sometimes. And I want to say that in my history as a ratepayer with one of the agencies, I want to say I have been hit before. With a note from them that said, "Oh, by the way, we noticed that there was a problem with your meter, and we're going to get back to you and let you know what it is." And I think in the cases where there was a problem with the meter, it was actually in my favor. So I was very happy because I didn't have to get nicked for any additional dough. But I guess there's some issues with these Badger radio read meters that GWA got, right?
Well, we've gone through a number of suppliers, and Badger's like the largest in the world, and now we're going through variations of which Badger meter best works for us. And we put up procurements. These are the bidders that respond, and you have to work. You have to work with them, and it's hard. There's only so many meter providers in the world, and we've used two of the largest. So what we're finding out is Guam's environment, has a different kind of challenge than let's say Michigan's environment at 2 degrees below zero. So you're always trying to look for the right meter. But even once you get the right meter, and these are mechanical devices, the water moves through your meter to your house, it turns the meter, and sometimes a rock can get in there, a plastic piece can fail. Meters fail, and 99.9999% of the time they don't fail up. They fail to record the amount of water you're actually using, so they underread. So the whole idea of back billing, and it's a practice going on throughout utilities everywhere, especially with water, not so much with power these days, because you have these fancy meters that you can just read it instantly. But with water, you're only billing once a month. So between day 1 and day 30 between your last bill and your current bill, if your meter fails, but you still were receiving water, how do you address that? Because it's not like you didn't get the water, it's just your mechanical meter failed. And back billing is an attempt to recognize that, your neighbors shouldn't pay for the water you used, and you actually got water. So it wasn't like you didn't get the service. It's like, what's a fair way to charge you when your meter fails to account for all the water that you use? And, 99% of our customers, there is that 1%, 99% of our customers don't call us when their meter starts to go from $80, or where their bill goes from $80 to $20. They don't call you and say, "Hey, my meter's failing." Some do, but most don't. And then when GWA discovers it, they back bill. And the challenge I have with right now is, so the concept is, and this has been going on for 25 years, and this policy was modeled by the Guam legislature from other communities that have back billing, particularly for water, because you only read the meter once a month, right? It's not like people were saying, well, how come, when you go to the grocery store and they charge you right then? Well, that's the point. They charge you right then. GWA doesn't run to your house every day and say, okay, you owe us $4. Okay, you owe us $4, and I'm going to turn off your water if you don't do it. We can only bill you once a month. So when the meter fails, how do you account for the fact that Ray Gibson, used 1,000 gallons of water, but his meter only recorded 400 gallons of water? Is it fair for Ray Gibson's neighbors to pay for the cost to get that water when you actually got the water? So back billing is an attempt. But most of my neighbors like me, Si, so I'd like to give them the opportunity from time to time to do something spectacular like pay my water bill. Well, that would be nice, as long as you don't mind paying their water bill when their meter fails. And, so it works both ways. So I think the idea is, if you receive the service, can you at least pay for it? But there's two sides of the equation, right? If you've used the service, can you at least pay no more than 4 months? So if your meter was down, and it's an awkward situation, because in order to calculate what you should have paid for the time you weren't billed correctly, they look at your history, and they also put a new meter in. And the law requires you put a new meter in, you read that for 2 months, and you say, okay, that's Ray Gibson's average for those missing months. And you take that average and you multiply by no more than 4. Sometimes we catch it fast enough. It's only 2 months of back billing, or it's only 1 month or 3 months. But the most we can do is 4 months. After that, then the cost has to be absorbed by GWA, because it's an idea that, hey, GWA, you can't wait 10 years and then hit Ray Gibson for back billing from 2006. But one of the challenges we're having now is we've had a struggle to get the back billing, from 15 months ago out to people, and people aren't being made aware that there is a back billing issue, and then here's what's going to happen. And then sometimes I've heard stories, people go out there and try to explain it to the customer, and we test the meter. We have $1 million test bench that we've spent to test meters. This helps us with Badger to say, hey, your meter doesn't work, and it also helps us with our customer to prove either it works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, you put in a brand new meter. So, there's 53,000 meters turning right now in the ground, and some are going to fail today. It's just things happen. These are mechanical, but most of them are working fine. But when we find out some meters are failing, what's fair? You got some water, you got the water. Can you help pay for it?
Is there an issue with the timelines of this? Because I think the story that I read has some of these the back billing going back to February of 2017. Well, we're already into October of 2018. So
that is the problem. That's the problem that I see. That I say, hey, why does it take us so long to catch it and notify the customer and work it out with the customer? That I don't blame a customer for saying, wow, my meter failed, but 18 months ago, and now you're talking to me about it. That's the part that we got on management last week and said, why is it taking so long? It shouldn't take this long. There's things that kick out, point out when the meter has failed. We've just got to move much faster, and so that's a frustration for the ratepayer, and I don't blame them. The opposite side is, but you did get water, and we are asking you to pay for some of the water you did get. It wasn't like you didn't get water, right? So and it's there's no perfect answer, unfortunately, and it's just something that if we could do it faster, if Ray Gibson was notified that his meter failed 5 months ago, and you owe us 2 months of billing, that's much more, palatable to a customer than to say 18 months ago, we caught your meter and now we're trying to get at least 4 months.
What's the industry practice?
4 months. Take an average, we copied this out of California.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of the timelines, how far in California, how far back do you go?
I have to go look at that, but I just think from a practical point of view, from a fairness point of view, 17 months seems like a long time to me.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I think. That's when I said we got to visit our side of the equation where, meters will fail, but we have to respond to that much more quickly with a customer to give them the best chance of also being able to pay it. Right, the sooner you know, the sooner you can address.
Jess Limtiaco asking on Facebook Live site says smart meter is obviously linked up to a computer. Who monitors these glitches? And I'm not sure if he's looking at. They're smarter meters, but I don't think that there's between my water meter and GWA. There's no daily, hourly, instantaneous connection. Right? It's not totally addressable like that.
Right. So people are confusing smart meters for power, which are completely addressable. We can see you right now exactly what you're consuming. We can turn you off and turn you on remotely because we're connected to you by electricity and a wire. The water meters are smart from this point of view. You don't have to get out and read the meter anymore. You drive by the meter. It sends a ping to your computer in the meter reader's car. Mm-hmm. He receives the ping. He uploads that. And at night, they go and upload today's Route 22. And they went by 500 houses, and they got ping, 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 ping. They upload that. So the good news is you don't have to read the meter physically by getting out of your car, but there isn't a direct, as you said, there's not a direct wire connection at this second. The meter reader goes by today's routes. He'll get the ping for today's route meters on that route. He goes home tonight, or even, I think they can even upload it remotely every 6 hours. But the idea is you upload today's reads because you don't have a wire that is connected real time all the time for water like you do for power.
And that's the end of that. So it's something that the CCU and the Public Utilities Commission should probably still chew on a little bit, is how far back should we allow ourselves to go? We recognize that there was a problem. There was still some service that was provided, but because we didn't get back to you, I mean, I think people will equate this with pizza deliveries. Didn't get it in here in 30 minutes or less. You still got to give me the pizza, and I ain't going to pay for it.
Well, it's more like you got the pizza, but the driver forgot to collect the money. Now he's got to come back.
Yeah, either or.
But we come back 17 months later, say, Ray, remember that pizza you got 17 months ago? Yep. That's the part to me.
Is there a desire in the industry that you're aware of to move to more of an addressable situation with the water meters, so that they are like power meters, something that you can talk to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? It's in the network.
There's a desire, but it's hugely expensive because you'd have to go back to every meter and run a wire. you know, or figure out a way. I'm sure technology would allow for it. Maybe, you know, can you somehow you still have to collect all that information from 53,000 meters electronically, right? Wi-Fi, and so you're going to have a connection on it. And then let's say it's Wi-Fi. Can your house reach the main billing center of you know, GWA? That's where logistically the technology doesn't allow for smart meters for water the way it does for power. Power it does because you're running electricity, right?
Yeah, it's, there's something. Yeah, you got 12 volts that you can feed the system with. That is kind of interesting. I'm thinking about where is it? There's a couple of places we've used this as an example on free internet technology because it's going basically on the utility backbone. But I think that's for power. I don't think that involves water or as I say, you know, addressable taps like the one you're talking about.
Yeah, back billing is an unfortunate reality of when you only bill once a month and you have a mechanical meter that can fail. How do you balance the interest of the fact that you got some water, but you weren't billed for all of it, and yet you got it. So, you know, it's a little imperfect. I like to speed up the notice part and improve the way we notify people. Mr. Gibson, we notice your bill seems unusually low. We're checking your meter. We'll be back to you. That's supposed to be the first letter, and some people get that letter, but it doesn't. Apparently, not everyone is getting that letter. Then we need to follow up with you and say, Mr. Gibson, we sent you a letter 2 months ago. Here's what we found out. Your meter's fine. You were on vacation, and no wonder your meter was low. Right? That happened. Or, you know, your meter, you were 80 for 10 years, and now you're 000. Your meter, we went out there, your meter is busted, and we now need to bill you for the time we can, no more than 4 months. But in order to bill you, we have to put a new meter in. We have to get a 2-month average, which means it's 2 more months, and then we bill you based on that average for back billing. And even that causes problems because some people we find out they were on vacation 17 months ago. Yeah. And when you put in the new meter, it says, well, you're supposed to pay me 80, but 17 months ago, here's my plane ticket. I wasn't here. So that's why
you got some basis of fact that you can sit on. Cosendo asking the question. I don't know if we got time to get the answer. Do we get credit on the power GPA uses to send itself our usage of power? Cause?
No, that's the cost of. I mean, there's a cost to bill you. There's a cost to serve you, and all of that is folded into your power bill. It's not like the billing's free and you just pay for the power. Everything's in your power bill. Just like when Cos bills customers for his work, I'm sure he charges for the copying and the transmitting. You know, he doesn't say, well, some are and some aren't.
Hey, listen, I gotta go and avoid an embarrassing moment. Apparently, I've typed in your name on the screen, Simon Sanchez.
Okay, well, don't vote for him.
Write it in. Run off. 7:59 and change. I'll talk to you pretty soon. You have a fantastic Monday, buddy.
Thanks, Ray. 16 days. We'll be still counting.
Actually, according to the Election Commission, it's 14 days from now.
Yeah, but I'm thinking counting on Wednesday morning will still be going on.
I think you're right, buddy. Hey, I got to break away. It's time for Fox News Live.
They call it a rogue operation. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. Saudi Arabia maintains journalist Jamal Khashoggi's death was not a targeted killing, but lawmakers are skeptical at best.
The Saudis say they are working to punish those who are behind Khashoggi's death, but Saudi Foreign Minister Abdullah Al-Jubeir told Fox's Brett Baer there seems to be a rush to judgment.
There is the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. In this case, people have turned it upside down, unfortunately.
But Senator Rand Paul on Fox News Sunday isn't buying the Saudi claim of a fist fight and urges action, including reevaluating arms deals.
And have a long and serious discussion about whether or not they want to be an ally or they want to be an enemy.
The president says he's seen no evidence the Saudi prince knew of or ordered the killing.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Thousands of Central American migrants on the move again, determined to reach the U.S.-Mexico border. Fox's William Lajeunesse in Tapachula.
Both walking here and also some local Mexicans are helping carry them in like a caravan down here, making their way basically to the city of Tapachula, where they're going to probably spend the night and maybe one more day. They're asking Mexico for a 45-day transit permit to allow them to get to the United States. Now, in terms of numbers, it's not 3,000. What reports here have it between 6,900 and 7,500 immigrants now, not just Hondurans, but Guatemalans and also Mexicans.
President Trump threatening to close the border if the migrants are not stopped.
Authorities in Jacksonville, Florida, saying 6 people were shot a block away from the NFL stadium where the Jacksonville Jaguars were hosting the Houston Texans.
A couple of them were in very serious condition when they went to the hospital.
Ron Lenve with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says the shooting appears to be gang-related. And in Georgia, the search continues for a second suspect in the fatal shooting of a police officer. That officer was responding to a call about a suspicious vehicle parked near a middle school. This is Fox News.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
President Trump continues his midterm election campaign blitz this week with rallies in Texas, Wisconsin, and North Carolina.
The Democrats need to flip 23 seats in the House to take control. Right now, the Democrats hold 193 seats. The Republicans hold 235. As for the Senate, a closer balance of power with 49 Dems and 51 Republicans. But in 10 states that voted for Trump in 2016, a Senate seat is up for grabs.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. Gas prices dropping a nickel to a national average of $2.92 for a gallon of regular.
Right now, the high in this sample of cities is San Francisco, $3.85 for regular grade, and the low is Charleston, South Carolina, $2.55. Between that, of course, there's many different averages. There's a Cleveland with $2.64. Denver, $2.87, Chicago, $3.03, and Honolulu, $3.82.
Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg. Next stop, the Fall Classic.
The Los Angeles Dodgers advanced to the World Series for the second year in a row after winning Game 7 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Joe Buck with the call on Fox Sports 1.
The next from Kershaw. The Dodgers have won the pennant. Back to the World Series they go. A final of 5-1.
It's the first time the Dodgers and Red Sox meet in the World Series. Game 1 is Tuesday night at Fenway in Boston. Ann Carrick, Fox News.
Michael Myers easily scares off the competition.
I've been preparing for this for a long time. It is not safe to be on the street tonight. Go home! Get out of here! Get inside!
Halloween takes the top box office spot with a $77.5 million debut. A Star is Born holds on to second place, grossing $19.3 million. The superhero flick Venom sliding down to third place with $18.1 million. Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween, and First Man round out the top 5. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Meet all the candidates up close and personal and find out why they deserve your vote. On Saturday, October 27th, you can meet them face-to-face during Micronesia Mall's one-on-one with the candidates. From 1 to 4 p.m., you can ask the tough questions, exchange views, express your concerns, or just get to know your candidates better. Hosted by Ray Gibson and broadcast on 93.3 The Point with the Facebook Live feed courtesy of Shooting Star Productions. Go one-on-one with the candidates, Saturday, October 27th, only at Micronesia Mall.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagana, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. 24-year-old Brandon Michael Acosta being held on $300,000 cash bail for the June 16th murder of 15-year-old Tamika Jadine Nauta. Acosta was arrested Friday evening by Guam police, brought before Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan Saturday afternoon. He was initially charged with aggravated murder, home invasion, aggravated assault, burglary, criminal trespass, and possession and use of a deadly weapon. Costa was already in custody on burglary charges when, according to the magistrate report, he told another inmate that he killed Nauta. He was then brought in for questioning by police and reportedly confessed. He blamed the killing on his meth addiction and said he made a mistake. According to the magistrate report, Costa said that after praying, he believes his spirit has been set free since he confessed. Acosta's next scheduled court appearance is set for October 30th. Senator Tom Atta appealing to the Office of the Attorney General to correct what he views as an error in the Department of Revenue and Taxation's interpretation of the 2019 budget law. In a letter to Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, Senator Atta, who chairs the legislature's Appropriations Committee, expressed concern that Reventax's decision to postpone implementation of the property tax increase will unnecessarily force a multi-million-dollar deficit in the current fiscal year and needlessly intensify our government's daily struggle for cash, he wrote. Public Auditor Benjamin Cruz called attention to the problem in a news release last week, noting Reventax decided not to assess the property tax increase mandated in the budget law until fiscal year 2020, even though the proceeds from that tax increase are already allocated to be spent this fiscal year. Failure to collect the tax this fiscal year creates an immediate deficit of $8.1 million, which is the amount the tax increase was expected to raise. We'll have more news after this.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Morrico Equipment on Ipoh Road has been around a while. 28 years on Guam, in fact. 28 long years of dealing with Gov Guam, persevering through typhoons, earthquakes, the U.S. military, boony dogs, boony grass, off-island, on-island, old Marine Corps drive, destructive winds, and dangerous surf. So they know a bit about equipment on Guam. Lucky for us, the employees who work at Morrico Equipment also own Morrico Equipment because they're very proud of what they do. Call 649-1946 or click morricoequipment.com.
11 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. The Guam Election Commission Friday accepting 3 names for the gubernatorial write-in campaign of Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and his running mate Alicia Lim-Tiaco. The acceptable names are Frank Uggan Jr., Alicia Lim-Tiaco, Frank Uggan, Alicia Lim-Tiaco, and Uggan Lim-Tiaco. The commission also agreed to consider other variations beyond those 3 when the ballots are counted on November 6th. And the commission has agreed to count Uggan Lim-Tiaco write-ins on both sides of the ballot, whether they're written under the Republican or Democratic column. Over the next few weeks, a team of enumerators working for the U.S. Census Bureau will be going door to door throughout the island to count the number of compact migrants living on Guam. The 2018 Compact of Free Association Enumeration is required by law. The count has been taken every 5 years since 2003. And Dramaki Mason is one of the 2 U.S. Census Bureau employees on island supervising the survey. Mason telling the Guam Daily Post that they're conducting a scientifically selected sample to measure population shifts since the last survey. About 5,000 housing units on Guam and in the CNMI are being surveyed. The results determine how much each of the 4 affected jurisdictions get from the $30 million that is set aside by Congress each year to help cover the costs of services provided to compact migrants. Guam is home to the largest number of compact migrants, and as a result, Guam has received the largest share of compact impact funding over the years, about $14.9 million in 2017. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
Well, 8:12 in the morning, and we've talked about this plenty, and it bears discussion even more. There is a storm that is to the east and south of it. It has got a name, U2, I think. Y-U-T-U, which means?
That has been contributed by the Chinese, mainland China, and that is the jade hare. That's a historic figure. Basically, it goes into something on the moon. Yeah.
You have we don't care about your culture. Get out.
Yeah.
Get your culture out of here.
But it is a cool name. And I don't think we'll forget it. So.
8:13. Well, hopefully it becomes one of those things that we do forget. I don't want to be wearing a T-shirt, 6 months to say, I survived Super Typhoon U2, if you know what I mean. But it is something that they've got a close eye on. It is the proximity. It is the possibility that it could, as usual, spin up to something that could bring us some significant damage around the midweek. So there's enough time for it to spin up to typhoon strength wind once it's in the area. Now, they're predicting that it's going to be going, north of Saipan?
Just to the north of Saipan.
All
so
right,
that would put us in a pretty good spot, really. That would be
if
okay.
the track stays where it is. But until this storm is west and north of us, do not take your eye off of it. We will be watching this as well. Partly cloudy skies today, isolated showers, winds east up to about 15 miles an hour. Daytime highs 90 degrees and overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Keep an umbrella or two handy because the weather it's that time of year, and we can go from grill marks and oh my God, it's hot to wow, where did that rain come from, and when is it going away? Sunset tonight, 5:58. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:12. I think that's everything, right? Okay, news and weather together here on The Point.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Our benefits plans cater to you. Our commitment has never been stronger. Medical, dental, and specialty care, accessible near and far.
Brought to you by the folks over at Security Title, who I had a fantastic time with on Friday night, goofing with them at the get-together over at Black Construction, and then they swear there's going to be a Ray Gibson crash course on wine one of these days. And I like to think I know a thing or two about wine. But I don't. This is the way it works for me. If we're going to be getting together, if my friends call up and say, hey, we're getting together over at so-and-so's house, and we know that you haven't cooked anything in months, so what? This is what we want you to bring. Bring wine. And I go, what kind of wine should I get? And they said, it works like anything else. For women, the more expensive it is, the better. Yeah. Right? So you can get a $20 bottle of wine. And nobody will like it, and you'll never get invited to someplace again. I think the sweet spot is between like $38 and $40. $30, $35, $40, right, for a bottle of wine? Well, it's like a good cab. What do you mean no?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But like that's like saying, well, you know, you could drive like a brand new Chevy Suburban, or you could drive a Ferrari. But if you're going to drive the Ferrari, don't mess with a brand new Chevy Suburban. You know, like a $20 bottle of wine is still pretty good.
Look, the only thing
if
I
it
know
was a
of,
$40 bottle of wine on sale.
Right, but now if you're bringing like an $8 bottle of wine,
they'll know.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about wine is that if you drink a whole bottle of Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill, you will have a hangover.
That's not wine, sir.
That's going to be vomiting.
That's only wine in certain parts of the world.
and it's meth people like to refer to that as wine. You know, the people that are messing around with their cousins, and when I say messing around, I think you know what I mean.
Well, it's the only example
messing
I
around
have.
with their cousin, meth heads, $8 bottle of wine people.
Yeah, I live in a ghetto, man. It's the only example I have.
8:16 in the morning. I'm supposed to be doing something about security title being the people that you go to when you've got complex real estate transactions. Their portions of the program also brought to you by, wait, there's more. We're successful. What can I say? American President Lines, where they're shipping the future. Micronesia Renewable Energy, MRE, where there's never been a better time to go solar. Talk to them about American Water Tech. They've got one of these water softeners that you need to be getting. I was talking with Cy earlier about problems they've got with those radio read meters, and so he says sometimes you get rock in it. And at my house, there's rock in the line all the time, and the best way to get rid of it isn't necessarily a whole house water filter as much as it might be getting yourself one of those water softening devices. Anyway, talk to him about that. Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs, and AK Lexus, where they're waiting on you to come in and test drive your brand new 2019 ES350.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Morning talk that matters.
The birthdays are starting to unfold on Facebook. And I got the first of the birthday notices, and it's for my very close friend, a personal friend, Ken Leon Guerrero. Ken LG. He's a guy that's with Andre Bainham that are pushing for the write-in.
That's why you saw me look up like I was thinking.
Yeah,
when you said Ken LG, I was like, no, which one?
Ken
okay,
LG.
Yeah. He's the election commission, right?
Write-in.
Mm-hmm. Write-in guy.
Write-in, runoff.
Yes.
Write-in, runoff. That's the way it's supposed to. And you can't see the hand motions because I've got and this is why we have Facebook. We have WhatsApp is so that people can send me cool things. This is not. It is the one meme I think that I'm going to be running today on Facebook Live that is unrelated to any kill, death, hit pieces or endorsements from congressmen of the Lou Josh campaign.
You seen? That's funny.
It's not.
That's good.
Yeah, when you a freak into sheets is what it says, and there's a picture of the guy from Friday the 13th.
People that like Halloween.
Is that Friday the 13th or Halloween?
No,
Which
that's
show is
Halloween.
that?
That's Halloween.
Okay.
That's Mike Myers. But I'm just saying, people who like Halloween, the holiday, not so much the movie franchise, and all that, but people who like that. I've been seeing these shirts that say be Dracula on the street and Wolfman in the sheets. You know, because you want a gentleman on the street and then an animal in the sheets. So.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean,
Okay.
you can do that with a bunch. There's a bunch of different ones, but the Halloween version I've seen, be Dracula on the streets and Wolfman in the sheets.
Okay, and she's I gotta let people know about this. It's our very close friend, another friend of ours, Jennifer Rodriguez. It's not her birthday today, but she's typing on
J-Rod,
yeah, on Facebook today. Please pardon our progress as we continue to make the final move into our new home in Harmon. We look forward to serving you really soon. Have a blessed weekend, Guam, and I will say I will give you all of the pardon your progress that you need. I hate moving. I hate painting. More than anything. Can you imagine, like, these guys are in the advertising specialty business, right? Basically swag and lots of swag. Can you imagine just the pain, the hell that has got to be putting the inventory on the way in, box it, move it, inventory on the way out?
No, we've worked in radio for a while, and I imagine their office is just one big radio promo closet.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of like what my home office has become over the years. You just kind of accumulate different random things and shirts and all kind of promo gear. So yeah, I've got a whole room in my house that probably looks like a portion of their office. Yeah, and so I would hate to have to move all that because it's just a bunch of loose parts.
I'm Taurus. We keep all that.
Yeah.
It's a memory. Oh, it's from it's from the first time the Jets were here. How about, it's like that. 20 after 8 o'clock.
Look at the shirt.
So we don't have a lot of time, and maybe that's a blessing here because this is the part of the program that I'm beginning to detest because it's just team score, team score, team score. But I recognize that there's a lot of people that are really, really into this. So we're gonna get through it as quickly and as entertaining as possible. But first, I have to utter the words. It's time for sports with Blake.
That was almost like giving birth.
You think? They make that noise that I'm sort of constipated now.
So I saw some middle school. I was at a family function over the weekend at Onward, hanging out at the water park, and there was 5 birthdays going on at once, and one of the birthday celebrants is a middle school basketball player, no, a high school basketball player, and some of her teammates were there talking about the season. So I know we're gearing up for that. Second quarter sports will start soon, and I have it official here thanks to the Coach Dixon. The IAAG boys soccer schedule will officially kick off next Monday. So we don't have much for second quarter sports. However, I did want to let everybody know that should be starting next week. So the schedules are starting to roll in, but for sure the boys soccer schedule will kick off Monday, just a couple days before Halloween, with Guam High taking on Ukadu, GW at Sanchez, and FD at St. John.
When is FD GW football?
That would be this weekend championship. I don't have any information on the time or place.
We just know that they're playing.
Yes. And that also happened over the weekend. FD beat JFK to advance. Guam High soars over the Guam High Panthers to advance, and so rematch yet again between the two baddest boys on the block, and FD and GW facing off in high school football championship game.
And in girls volleyball, I just found out that my daughter Mayumi is going to be on the Eagles A team. For their volleyball.
Harvest. That's always good.
I'm very, very excited about
the
that.
A-teams you always get nicer uniforms on the A team.
Well, you get to go on base.
That's true. You get to go on base.
Yeah, the other ones, I mean, you kind of sort of can go, but you're really not on that version of the traveling team. So I think that's very, very cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Eagles schedule is going to be looking like. And anybody that is a friend of mine has to come with me.
Although shout out to Romeo Miranda, is a buddy of mine on social media, and he posted that his son is Brandon Miranda, who I told you was the first ever St. Paul Warrior to win cross country all island and the championship meet. And so I believe I saw today that he is going to be headed up to Japan to try to compete one more time on off island. Yeah. So good luck to Brandon Miranda and fam and whoever else is going on that trip, and enjoy Japan. Do us proud.
I'm looking to see if I've got details. I ran on Saturday. I ran the Ghoulish 10K.
How's that?
For the Guam Running Club.
Scary?
Well, there were a lot more people, I think, at the Veterans 5K that I didn't realize was even going on in Agana, which was fine. But I still managed to come in 4th in my division.
That's good.
Because no, it's not. It was terrible. I thought it was coming in 2nd because it was just me and Robert right at the front of all of this. And then these guys, one guy passes me, and I'm looking, going, oh, that's okay. He's not in my division. Go ahead. Run it out, bro. Another guy passes me, and I'm like, oh, it's okay. He's not in my division. Just run it out, bro. You have a good time today. Guess what? They were totally in my division.
You just let them go.
Because I didn't think that's not my rabbit.
Yeah, I get you.
Robert's my rabbit.
I get you.
But the cool thing was we were running, all of us now behind a couple of people. One of them being Marie Benito, as it came in first, but she had come in from behind because that's her style, and ran up against a girl in middle school that was running against high schoolers in track, and I don't remember her name. And I was kind of hoping that maybe you'd heard this story, is that she's in middle school, but she was allowed to compete at a high school level.
Really? No.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Anyway, somebody from the club will send me the name. But a just really, really cool kid, and we all believe that she and people like her future of youth running sports here on Guam.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is. Like those amazing Chris kids.
Yeah. Do you know? Did I tell you?
What are they fed?
I don't know. Finadini rice, maybe? That's my favorite snack.
Kids are fast.
I feel like if I eat Finadini rice at least once a day, I can perform at my best. So I don't know if I'm the only one.
Did you make it Saturday night to the bodybuilding?
I felt like I was there. I watched it via. I was at the water park all day, so I was very sun drenched of energy. But I did watch it on many outlets on social media.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and not only that, I saw this. Check this out. The winner Trevor Wolford, I think. Trevor Wolford, does that sound right? Trevor Wolford?
Well, which division? They got a ton of them.
He was the winner of one of the divisions, Trevor Wolford. And I did see that the very next day, now that happened Saturday night, Sunday morning, he was in Paradise just benching weights, just lifting weights, just lifting. No rest for the wicked. Yeah.
Nice.
What an inspiration.
So with the overall winners, this from the Guam Daily Post, men's bodybuilding, Greg Uggan, women's figure, Christy Rose Amador, men's physique, Joel Atempta, women's bikini, Geraldine Mesa, international men's bodybuilding, Asana Kikuo, international men's masters bodybuilding, Tahara Kiyomitsu, international women's figure, Christy Rose Amador. I read that name twice because she got 2 awards. International Women's Fitness, Suzuki Mitsuto. International Men's Fitness was Takada Iwao. And International Women's Physique, Shimizu Eriko. And International Bikini was Shannon Wong.
Nice.
And all of the pictures and all the great stories are all over social media. Can't miss them.
My friend Ari was posting for, she works down at ISC. She was posting there. My friend Ryan Bigler was posting. He works, I think, at Paradise. So everybody, every gym was definitely, making their presence feel known. And it looked really, really cool. There was just a lot of interesting and very cool pictures and videos that came out of, I guess, Leo Palace, right? Leo Palace that Saturday.
And I want to do a shout out. Some of the best looking, some of the better competitors all look great because they got their tan from Bronzed by Kiki.
That's right. Kiki, do you love me?
You saw, yeah, and she was all over. And you want to see those pictures? They're all Instagrammed. 8:27 in the morning, and we've got just enough time to talk about fat ball. Is there football?
Yeah.
Do we killer football sports doing music? Still no.
We have some games that are all done. I don't even look at my picks yet.
We can have a production meeting later. Yeah. All right. So from the top, go.
Go. Do you have this?
Well, we know Broncos crushed the Cardinals on Friday, 45-10. That no surprise. Chargers eked by the Titans, 20-19.
That game in London, by the way, and I heard that there were more fans of the Chargers in London than in L.A., which is where they play.
Yeah, not surprising at all. They do love our football over there, though. So.
Well, the Jaguars. The owner of the Jaguars is that's the team that they think is going to be moving over there, but.
Jaguars,
yeah, and even more so if they go to London. And I think it's all because the owner of the Jaguars, is trying to buy Wembley Stadium at the moment.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, he's got plenty of cash.
Oh, yeah.
So it's okay. New England gets by Chicago.
Put the Abra up. I've got music that I want you guys to play.
From the style of signs to the way the road looks.
Oh, wait,
what the heck is that?
Speaking.
No,
political ads and backing us here.
Anyway, Patriots.
But the music's good, so that's why I want to play it. It's just that I think I've got another thing playing. Yeah. Okay, so it should be you now. It should be. Go ahead, Abra.
There we go. Okay.
Next one was a surprising game.
Which one?
New England, Chicago.
Yeah, the team that I picked won, but the fact that it went 38-31 is the surprise. Who would have thought? Again, I just don't think New England is all that, man. You know, they're great.
No,
team,
I don't think so either.
Just really don't have much defense on them.
Yeah.
Let's see, Buffalo, Indianapolis, big surprise here. And, of course, you picked this one correctly. Bills get crushed, 37-5. Dolphins, they bow down to Detroit, 32-21.
I got all these right, by the way.
Yeah, and that's why I say my picks today have suffered horribly. But my team won. We'll get to that in a bit. Vikings over the Jets, 37-17. Panthers nip the Eagles, 21-17. Buccaneers edge Cleveland, 26-23. Texans really just lights out on the Jaguars, 20-7. I don't know whether it was bad offense on Jacksonville's part.
Well, they sat Bortles. He fumbled twice, and they benched their quarterback.
Yeah, well, but the defense was just all over him.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the case.
I don't think they're very good. I thought that, maybe the Cowboys had figured it out last week, but after this week, they got blown out last week by us, who is a mediocre team. Then, and then Houston beat them. Bad. I mean, bad. More than they should have. I just don't know if Jacksonville's who they were last year.
No, and it's certainly not looking that way at this point. Let's see. We got
games.
We got games in progress now. Baltimore just ahead of New Orleans, 17-14 in the fourth. The Rams and San Francisco. Rams have good control over this one, 25-7 in the third. Dallas and Washington, a tight contest here. The Redskins got the lead now, 10-7.
Dak got rocked, so that could play into the game. Dak took off running. He got hit straight to the head after the play. He had to go to the blue medical tent.
I
think they cleared him, but who knows?
Yeah. Right on. Chiefs and Bengals coming up later, and then tomorrow we've got the Falcons and the Giants. So
there we go.
That's your football.
Chiefs, Bengals. Chiefs should roll over them. Like I said, they're my Super Bowl picks. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
go Mahomes.
The music in the background from the latest Kill Death hit piece that's floating around the internet. This one here, going after members of Lou and Josh's apparent leadership team and questioning the relationships that they've.
Somebody
gotten.
else call the
I wonder who's behind those.
Other connections.
It's metadata, Kevin. It's metadata.
It's not
It's packets of metadata.
We did metadata on Friday. I didn't want to do a metadata Monday again. I didn't want to have two metadatas in a row because people just it will just tend to confuse people. But I don't know this one here. They've got there's Chris Carrillo that they're getting into, and before that it was Therese Arroyo. And I mean, just they're all kinds of. Oh, look, there's Roy. It's Roy's sister,
Rebecca Respicio.
Yeah. And connections there. Anyway, so here's the thing: is I want to play it on the air, but I'm not going to. Number one, because it's 5 minutes long, and it's
a political ad.
No, it's the Kill Death hit piece. It's not a political ad. And play the music in the background. Play the background, the audio. Okay, this is the music that's playing in the background. There is no annotation. There is no guy with a deep voice that is supposed to scare the hell out of you because these are supposed to be unsavory people that might find themselves in a cabinet if Lou and Josh win. Mm-hmm. So you'd think I would have put more production onto it. I would have had the guy.
Oh, I would have had like the Law and Order.
In a world.
All that.
Lulian Guerrero is owner of the Bank of Guam,
and
these are
calls
the kinds
children
of people.
it.
You know. So I don't know. There's it's got lousy production values on it, and it's too long. Just you know what? You don't have to go after everybody in the same video.
You know what I saw funny? This kind of got so I was at getting my coffee over the weekend.
Yes.
And I was getting it at the place where they can give you like the who are you voting for based on how.
Oh, it's a gas station. It's 76. Yeah.
Right. And there was a lady behind me in line. She asked the guy at the counter. She goes, do y'all have any plain Java? She's like, do y'all have any like plain Java jackets? And the lady goes, ma'am. She goes, ma'am, I know. She goes, you know what? Actually, the cups themselves are insulated, so you really don't need one. You really don't need one. She's like, you don't have to get one if you don't want to. I don't think you're going to burn your hands.
All right, Eddie Cruz says, go Cowboys.
Yay.
I know, Sharky. And Kenny Williams says, I like Mike. Thanks, Kenny. I appreciate that. Ted Lewis, Vegas Golden Knights win 3 straight. You should love hockey, Blake. Go Knights, go.
I do. I'm a big fan. My team's got the LA Kings this week there, Ted.
And Kaz Endo says, Dodgers!
Yes. Our friend Mindy Uggan was posting with, she's a big Dodger family. Her and her boys.
I have no idea.
Love the Dodgers, and they were posting social media stories all weekend of Dodgers win. Woo, go Dodgers.
Here's the great thing about baseball.
The Astros are out?
Well, but these two teams
that's the one
have not faced off in the World Series in 103 years. And Babe Ruth was pitching for Boston when they did.
Wow. Pitching?
Yes.
What year was that?
1913.
100 years ago.
Of course, the Dodgers were in Brooklyn at the time.
That's right. Yeah.
Crazy. All right.
This was actually the series that preceded the sale to the Yankees and the curse.
The Dodgers used to travel with their own dirt.
Nice.
They used to bring on road games. They used to bring like bags of their own dirt to sprinkle around through the infield and in the batter's box, so that way, I guess it was like a comfort feel. It's kind of like how like the Patriots got in trouble for deflating and inflating their own footballs. Mm-hmm. Out of comfort thing. It's kind of like one of those things. Like like the Dodgers back in like the 20s. That's a story I heard. Of course, the great Vin Scully told me that story when I was watching 2 minutes of a game. And
what would you travel with? I mean, what is there something that you travel with? Like when you went to Taiwan, was there anything?
A suitcase.
A suitcase.
Yeah.
It's my lucky
I
suitcase.
try to take underwear with me everywhere. I guess.
No, but
we appreciate.
When I was a kid, we used to travel with it was a puppet that came from my mom bought when I was a kid from the San Diego Zoo. It was a flamingo hand puppet.
Yep.
And she named him Stan, and we would travel with him and take pictures with him everywhere. We went to Hawaii for the first time. He went to Rome. We've been all over the place, and I still got him. He's missing an eye because I think a dog got a hold of him once. But
my mother used to travel with a pillow, and I asked her once. I said, "Mom, do you have an emotional attachment to the pillow?" She said, "No, the ones the airline gives you suck." So this is what I'm traveling with. My mom, world traveler, she'd sleep on the floor of the airplane. She knew how to do all that stuff.
By the way, for Cazendo, Shepard called and said, "Go Sox."
Oh, fight.
Yeah.
Spike, okay.
Fight.
Hey, listen, I got to let you guys go. Hey, JJ's watching. That's always cool. 8:35 in the morning, and that's plenty of sports from the Guam Daily Post headlines. And Kevin Kerrigan coming up next.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Yes, Dave, you can write that on the Facebook Live. I won't give you a hard time about it. Dededo Mayor endorses Lou and Josh. Thank you, Mayor. Good choice. I'm in with you. Maybe I will watch that whole thing for 5 minutes and see if Dave Duenas is in there. Shooting for a cabinet position there, brother. It is time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Kevin Kerrigan and his last look at news this morning.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. The Guam Police Department is supposed to obtain approval from an institutional review board if it intends to conduct a study on the effectiveness of its community-oriented policing strategy. That, according to a law that's been on the books for 20 years. Public Law 24-326 created an institutional review board at UOG. The review board is tasked with reviewing all research activities and ensuring the informed consent of all individuals participating in any research. UOG Office of Research and Development Interim Director Rachel Leon Guerrero said all research studies on island, even those approved by other off-island IRBs, should be run through the Guam IRB. When asked about the planned Guam Police survey, she said yes, it should go through the IRB here on Guam as well. Guam Police has entered into a $56,000 agreement with the University of South Pacific in Fiji to conduct the survey. The plan is to distribute it house to house, utilizing AmeriCorps volunteers starting in January. A George Washington High School teacher accused of issuing a bogus high school diploma in exchange for cash has been released on a $15,000 PR bond. Andrea Manao Cruz appeared in Superior Court Friday. She's been charged with aggravated theft by deception, impersonation, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. The Office of the AG launched the investigation after Guam Community College officials raised concerns about applicants trying to enroll with diplomas issued by a private tutoring school called BAM, Believe, Achieve, Motivate. Cruz started that tutoring school late last year. She's accused of issuing 300 BAM diplomas and transcripts. According to the magistrate's report, Cruz is also facing drug charges after investigators found pipes in her possession which had residue of consistent with methamphetamine. Leroy Foster, a retired Air Force veteran who was a pivotal voice in calling Congress's attention to alleged exposure of the herbicide Agent Orange on Guam during the Vietnam War, has died at his home in Florida. Speaker of the Guam legislature, Senator Therese Terlahi, issued a statement Friday expressing her sadness at his passing. She noted that Foster was relentless in his fight to expose the truth of Agent Orange use on Guam and obtain justice for his fellow veterans and the people of Guam. During the Vietnam War, Foster served at Andersen Air Force Base. He has testified that he sprayed tens of thousands of gallons of Agent Orange in and around Andersen Air Force Base and along the fuel lines that ran from the Navy's Sassa Valley fuel farm to the air base. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
The Ma'atnyao lady, what was the name of it? BAM? What was it?
BAM. Believe, Achieve, Motivate.
I believe I'm going to scam you out of your money for a diploma. I think that's what I'm trying to figure out what else we can do with the Achieve and the Motivate. But that first one there, that was easy. I believe it is iConnect time at 8:40. Swing by iConnect or call them up, 888-8888, and ask them about all of the great plans they've got for mobile and internet and push-to-talk and whatever, and you'll find out why they are the practical choice.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sports Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus
Now with special incentives.
at Atkins Kroll.
What is it? Play the traffic sounder, and I'm supposed to just jump up and do a traffic report. Yeah, I'm busy writing all kinds of stuff back and forth to some of my WhatsApp suppliers here, trying to see if we can dig out some more memes that I can share with you. All right, my head's going to get really big in this picture. What have I got here? In front of Anderson Air Force Base, nothing. Clear moving through most of Marine Corps Drive until you get to... Well, actually, it's clear moving and, for most of Marine Corps Drive. I think we've gotten out of the heavy part of it. Might be a little bit of traffic in front of McDonald's over by Malakuti's place. You're going to see some traffic coming off of Sunset Boulevard, making your way towards the A.B. Wanpat International Airport. And that's the area. I don't know, how do I describe it? It's the one where they've still got the slummy houses that are up there. And you know, you got to make that turn into the warehouses. So expect a little bit of traffic through there. Not seeing a whole lot anywhere else. Tell you what, maybe you can help if you see something happening on the roadways that I need to know about. 888-8255. That's 888-8255. Or take pictures of it and stick it on the WhatsApp. 988-5874.
30 years ago, I moved to Guam from the Philippines to make a better life for my family. I work hard every day. We struggled, but I was happy to do it for my kids. I will do anything to protect my family, but I don't feel safe. I don't see police patrolling the villages like I used to. Guam is not the same. Criminals are getting braver because they know we don't have enough police officers. The Lieutenant Governor says public safety is a priority. He's been in the office for 8 years and had the chance to do something to make us safer, but he didn't. I'm tired of empty promises. I want someone who's going to get the job done. That's why I'm voting for Lou and Josh. Sa Nobyembre 6, ako po ay boboto para kay Lou at Josh. At inaanyahan ko po kayong lahat na maniwala na mayroon tayong karapatan na maramdaman na ligtas ang pagboto sa kanila. Ako po si Bobby Gopez. Maraming salamat po.
I'm Lilian Guerrero and I approve this ad.
Paid for by the committees to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
See the video for that ad that we just played? Have you seen the video for it? No, it's great. At the end of it, if it's the same one that I saw, it closes with him putting an Lou and Josh sign in at the house, and on his way to where he's doing it, there's already a sign for Dennis Rodriguez. Right? Subtle, you guys. I saw that. I'm one of those. I can see the political operativeness of nesticity that's going on out there in the political world. So I'm getting more queries from people about the video, the Kill Death hit piece that I was talking about earlier. 5 long minutes worth of, hey, look, here's some people that are associated with Lou and Josh, and trying to paint them as being unsavory characters, or in it for, I don't know, some kind of frothy love at the end of the campaign. And I'm getting more requests from people for the link, because I've already said I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it. A couple of reasons. It's 5 minutes long. There's no annotator. And number 3, there is also the possibility that if I put this thing on something I'm associated with, I'm going to get sued. So I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to play it. I don't know that any of those things prevent me from posting the link, because I know that the link certainly is out there and available for public consumption. I'm sure it's on the Facebook places. And I know it's floating around in a bunch of different WhatsApp places, because I've gotten it from 2 or 3 other places. So I will post the link. You can get to the link on Facebook Live. And I guess it's more of Lou's cabinet. I'm out. So I'm assuming that there's another piece that is floating around right? That says Lou's cabinet, I'm out. This is more of Lou's cabinet, I'm out. I'm assuming that there's another piece out there. I haven't seen that one yet. I will also assume that it's got the same kind of production values with the scary Friday the 13th music playing in the background and no annotator to read what it is that's up on the screen. Ain't nobody got time for 5 minutes worth of that. Even if you hated the campaign, even if you hate those guys.
They assume I can read.
There's that, too. There's that, too. So, like I said, if I was the guy that was doing it, I'd run it with, a $25 an hour guy just to read what it is up on the screen and make sure. I haven't scooched all the way to the end, right? Because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of forgettable stuff in the beginning. If you've watched it all the way to the end, anybody, is there a payoff? Is there a punchline? You got to have a punchline for all of this stuff. I mean, you got to end like with somebody. And Satan is behind the campaign. Bump. You got to end it on something like that, right? I mean, if you want to do the full on kill death hit piece, that in my mind is how you do it. So it just kind of feeds into some of the other stuff that's floating around. Lacia is online. That's always nice to see. As I said, Dave Duenas is there. Boy, you don't necessarily want to run those two together. JJ, Jennifer Rose, good morning. Nice to see you there. Eddie Cruz, Pat Bumba. Good morning, Kenny Williams, Cazendo, J.D. Castro, my classmate Frank Blas Jr. So when you write in, if you're going to write in, Frank, for the election, you can write Frank Blas in if you want.
You can.
He was telling me we were talking. He's got a couple of other interesting business things that were going on, but obviously we spent a lot of time talking about politics. And I'm curious, my classmate Frank. I am curious because when did we get together? What was it? Thursday. When did you see me get out of his truck? Do you remember last week? It was sometime.
Was that Wednesday or something? Right?
Yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah.
Wednesday.
He wanted to show me some cool solar gizmo he's working on. Anyway, so he picks me up, and obviously on the way to look at this solar gizmo, we started talking politics, and we were talking about what we thought might be tricky going into at the time the general election, and concerns had been expressed that we were talking about that we might not see as many Republicans in the legislature as we would hope. He told me that some of the guys he was talking to were like 10 Democrats to 5 Republicans. I told him, dude, I heard it was going to be 11 Democrats to 4 Republicans, and so we were talking a little bit about that and maybe issues that the Republican Party might be having. But I wonder now, that was prior to all of the Frank and Alicia stuff that took place last week. It was prior to the let's go visit Ray Gibson and just say, yeah, we're on the for real. It was also prior to let's go visit Ray Gibson, and then got into it with Lou Leon Guerrero, and then got into it with Lou's, with what Frank said was Lou's attack dog, Vince Akimoto. So there's been enough of that floating around in the last couple of days. Has that changed anybody's opinions? Are you in the same place as you were? And even if you don't have any skin in the fight, even if you don't have a sticker on the car, even if you haven't been going to any rallies and stuff like that, has your position changed? Or do you now look at people differently? And I'm wondering, just because I'm talking out loud, I'm wondering if Lou's contention that she will not appear on a debate or in a forum if Frank Uggan and Alicia Limtiaco are going to be there. Now, I told you, and I was really, really happy to be asked. I consider it a great compliment and a great recognition of the fact that I prefer to keep things as fair as possible. So, there's a pendulum of morality. There is an arc of ideas, and I want to be able to have a conversation with Lou Leon Guerrero over here and be able to go from that to a conversation with Frank to a conversation with Ray. I like to think that I'm enough of a down the middle guy to see. To be able to see all sides, to be able to understand all sides. So there's that. But so when the chamber called on me last week and said, we'd like you to be the moderator for our forum, I thought, That's really good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for recognizing. I really do try to keep things down the middle path here in the program so that we can get all of the ideas out there. And then they said, no, stand by one. And then 24 hours after that, I got a call, said, no, it's over. We're not going to be able to conduct it. We're not doing the debate. We're not doing the forum with the. And I jokingly went back. I said, what, did somebody complain? And it was, yeah, somebody did complain. Oh, I was just kidding. Really? There's at least one printed of the print media that says it was Lou that complained to the chamber and said, if Frank's going to be there, then I'm not going to be there. And she has said as much in an interview that she did with Kevin Kerrigan. Well, there's a couple of other ones coming up. There's in fact one of the most anticipated. One of the most anticipated, and they call it a debate. This is not a forum. They call it a debate. One of the most anticipated ones is coming up, and it is the University of Guam's Great Debate. I know, that's what they call it. And I got this note early in the morning from, and I'm going to assume that she's public about all of this stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and say it's from my Auntie Narissa, who writes, Manana Sidzuo's nephew, I found out yesterday that President Kreese has been in I'm sorry, she wrote it earlier. Yesterday, UOG denied Frank and Alicia's request to participate in the Great Debate. Let's see. UOG's mission is to enlighten, discover, and serve. How can we be enlightened if we don't hear all candidates running in the gubernatorial election? Also, UOG is an open enrollment institution. They accept everyone. Does the fact that Lou Leon Guerrero's family is paying for the SBPA building have something to do with this decision? Has Lou's brother, Jess, who chairs the UOG endowment, flexed his muscles? Just asking. She wrote earlier this morning. This is where I get caught up. Manana Sidzuos, I found out yesterday that President Kreese, has been in Micronesia over the past several days and did not know about the decision to exclude Elgin Limtialco from the Great Debate. He will likely ask for an update or briefing this morning. I'm now calm and know that I've done my part to inform everybody who I feel needs to know how I feel. By the way, I agreed to be a guest in the after party tonight. In case you have time, please tune into the KUAM Facebook page. Have a wonderful day, nephew, to which I write, will do, Auntie. And then the crazy thing is, and this has nothing to do with politics, but she hit me back with a heart emoji, a Valentine emoji, but it was green. Do they have green ones? I think Valentine's always red, isn't it? I mean, just saying.
We need to find a millennial to decode that for us.
I don't know. 888-8255, because it's kind of interesting to me, and I'll talk about some of the other very interesting things that are floating around. 8:53 in the morning, so there's that, and so I'm wondering. All of the things that we've done and seen in the last couple of days. We got Frank coming out of the closet with Alicia saying, "Okay, yeah, we're in for the write-in campaign." Had the rally, bum rushed the Ray Gibson show a couple of times. Got into a scrap with Lou. Got into a scrap with Vince, and all of the other things, all of the other appearances that I'm sure he has made in the last little bit. That on top of Lou Leon Guerrero, who's pushing back, saying, "No. If he's going to be there, I'm not going to be there." You know, it's like a couple going through a divorce. Oh, it can't be at the same party at the same time. You have to invite one or the other. And so I'm wondering, is there anybody, if it's not the University of Guam, then I don't know who it could be that could push the issue. And would you be as satisfied if you went to a debate and there were 3 podiums but only 2 people there? What if it turns out that they conduct it? And this new guy, Kreis, who's not Robert Underwood, but the new guy, Kreis says, no, I think some of the voices are correct. Maybe we do need to include Frank and Alicia in this. Would it still be an effective debate for you if there were only 2 of the 3 podiums that were filled? How would your impression of the empty one change your view of that candidate? And there's what have I got? What have I got on what am I getting ready for here? Hold on, I got to scroll down. As I'm saying, as words are coming out of my mouth, I have more messages that are coming in. Yeah, matopping is a word that people are using. Are you familiar with the word? Yes. See, now you've been here long enough. You get it. Clint Eastwood all over again. Yeah. Speaking of YouTube, tropical depression, U2. Yes, we're watching that. We're watching that, Neats. Don't worry. I will have my eye on it. Now that they've come out, now that it's got a name, 31 Whiskey turned it into U2. Now that it's got a name, this becomes something that Mike and I will obsess over, right?
Yeah.
And we will watch every little thing, and if it looks like it's going to be a problem for us, I promise, we'll do what we're supposed to be doing. And so anybody that I've made a commitment for any appearances, goofing off, or let's have laughs and drinks on any time like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to have to rain check on all of that just for a little bit until I know what's going to be happening with this storm.
Yeah, and the thing about it is this storm is actually kind of the opening salvo of what should be about a 2 to 3 week uptick in tropical activity as the peak of the MJO, or the Madden-Julian oscillation that I've told you about, swings on through our part of the world. For the last time this season, I think that it'll have a chance really to develop much. I think when it comes back through, say, December, January, things will have calmed down quite a bit.
All right. But we have to wait through there.
Yeah, well,
which is gonna suck. It's like having to wait for Game of Thrones to come back on television. There's multiple annoyances there. All right, 888-8255 is the telephone number. 888-TALK if you want to play around on a couple of other things. Political gossip, to be sure. Yeah, there's plenty out there. It was a big weekend for a lot of people. Hopefully, you went out there and saw everybody. Somebody told me it rained like hell before the Bota rally, but once it was already on, then everybody stayed and it was dry and you had a good time. So it's there. There. I thought Ken Leon Guerrero might have a comment, and he does. The good news is the Guam Election Commission met on Friday as they were supposed to, and I give them high marks for making what I consider to be the right decision. And I think even people that are annoyed that Frank and Alicia are running this write-in campaign also get the idea that, yeah, this is the right thing to do. So if I write in Frank and Lou on the Democratic side, Mike writes in Frank and Lou on the Republican side, it won't make any difference. Both of them will count towards Frank and Lou as write-in candidates. And if they get a sufficient number of votes, so much so that they could force the write-off, well, we'll see what happens after that. Hey, Derek, nice to see you back on the thing. So they did that. They were also looking at a couple of other measures, but frankly, none of it really kind of rises to the occasion. Although I will say that it is the guy that I'm watching anymore in this election is not Ray Tenorio. And it's not Tony, and it's not Josh, and it's not Frank. It's not either of the. You know who I'm watching now? Because I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I'm going to be entertained by it. Is Attorney Tom Fisher. I think he's great. I think Tom is the best addition to the political scene on Guam since forever. He's got some issues with the Election Commission. First of all, they didn't take up his concerns about any kind of conflict of interest or conflict that Lou Leon Guerrero may have if she becomes governor of Guam, because she is a member of the family that's basically the government of Guam's banker, and has been over many years, I want to say, like first choice lender. The Bank of Guam has come through on more than one occasion and helped the government of Guam through some tight spots. So there are people, Tom among them, who says, well, she's going to be conflicted. Racist. She's going to be conflicted from day number one. You can't just, divorce yourself, say that I'm going to give my shares to my grandkids and my boy's going to be running the store for me. And I'm going, well, I don't see why you can't. But anyway, so Tom wants to have Alice Tyron over at the Election Commission recuse herself because apparently at some point somebody in Lou's camp got food from her to the tune of about, $650 or something like that. And that means that she is now conflicted. You remember, what was he saying last week about the guy from the Attorney General's office? Oh, yeah, a little paranoia is always a good thing. 8:59 and change. The radio station is KUSG. Got you. My name is Ray Gibson. Welcome to 93.3 The Point, headquarters for Fox News. That's coming up next.
The migrants marching on. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. Thousands of Central American migrants pushing further into Mexico on a treacherous journey to reach the U.S.
They walked for about 12 hours today and ended here in the town square of Tapachula. It is rainy season. We're having a thunderstorm right now. The shelters are filled up. The overflow is here. Some have taken cover wherever they can. Also over here on the overhangs of several businesses. And these people, remember, they only have the clothes on their back. They don't have a change of clothes, so they're going to be wet for a while.
Fox's William Lajeunesse. President Trump blames the left for the caravan, tweeting Democrats' fault for weak laws. The White House at odds with some lawmakers over how to respond to Saudi Arabia for the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff says the intelligence community should take a close look at the U.S.-Saudi relationship, and that includes any financial ties to the president.
It leaves the American people wondering, is U.S.-Saudi policy being driven by something other than national interests?
Republican Congressman Peter King says he agrees on a search for answers, but it's not time to look for a conspiracy.
What Saudi Arabia did was savage, it was evil, that's to be condemned, we have to take action. But let's not be questioning the motives of our president right now.
Both men on ABC's This Week. President Trump says he doubts a Saudi claim that Khashoggi died in a fight.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein testifies Wednesday before a House committee in a closed-door hearing. Rosenstein denies reports of plotting to secretly record the president and use the 25th Amendment to remove him from office.
We have a lot of questions for him, and it's important to note that there is no limitation on the scope of these questions. That's why it will be limited to the people who will be in the room and that it will be in a classified setting.
Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo. This is Fox News.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Morico Equipment on Ipoh Road has been around a while. 28 years on Guam, in fact. 28 long years of dealing with Gov Guam, persevering through typhoons, earthquakes, the U.S. military, boony dogs, boony grass, off-island, on-island, old Marine Corps drive, destructive winds, and dangerous surf. So they know a bit about equipment on Guam. Lucky for us, the employees who work at Morico Equipment also own Morico Equipment because they're very proud of what they do. Call 649-1946 or click moricoequipment.com.
President Trump planning to withdraw from a landmark nuclear weapons treaty with Russia. The announcement coming ahead of National Security Advisor John Bolton's trip to the region.
Bolton will visit Russia as well as the former Soviet republics of Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. The former UN ambassador announced a trip on his Twitter page earlier this month, saying he would meet with his counterparts and other senior officials to advance American interests on a range of security issues. Russia's state-run news agency has reported President Vladimir Putin plans to meet with Bolton.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington. The search continues in Georgia for the second suspect in the killing of a police officer.
The initial call came in as a suspicious vehicle call approximately 2:30 p.m. Several officers were dispatched to the location. Shots were fired from inside the vehicle, striking Officer Tony.
Gwinnett County Chief of Police Butch Ayers. Gunfire ringing out in Jacksonville, Florida, a few blocks from the NFL stadium where the Jacksonville Jaguars took on the Houston Texans. Authorities say 6 people were wounded. The incident appears to be gang-related. Dozens of people reportedly hurt after a floor collapsed during a party in South Carolina near Clemson University.
The injured partygoers were taken to local hospitals after the center of the floor caved in at a clubhouse near the South Carolina University. Clemson sophomore Larissa Stone says a popular song was playing when the floor collapsed. Everyone was jumping. She says people were hurt, people were bleeding. One young man said he went to try to help the injured people and saw what he thought looked like broken ankles and legs.
Fox's Debbie Hanley. Welcome to Tom Petty Park. Fans gathering at a park in Gainesville, Florida for a dedication ceremony to rename it in the rock star's honor. Petty used to play as a boy in what was called Northeast Park. Yesterday's dedication ceremony coinciding with his birthday. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Meet all the candidates up close and personal and find out why they deserve your vote. On Saturday, October 27th, you can meet them face-to-face during Micronesia Mall's One-on-One with the candidates. From 1 to 4 p.m., you can ask the tough questions, exchange views, express your concerns, or just get to know your candidates better. Hosted by Ray Gibson and broadcast on 93.3 The Point with the Facebook Live feed courtesy of Shooting Star Productions. Go one-on-one with the candidates, Saturday, October 27th, only at Micronesia Mall.
What? There's all kinds of stuff in the social media and the WhatsApps here. I have somebody admiring a picture of me playing around in the ocean yesterday. Says, well, now you're ready for a triathlon. Okay, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I've been working on some upper body stuff. But the no on the triathlon, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you 2 reasons why. Number 1, I can swim. I don't like to swim.
Yeah.
Okay, and number 2 is I can't afford a bike nice enough, good enough, so that if I were to join a triathlon, that I'd have any chance of being able to catch up with some of the other fast riders, right?
Yeah.
And then thirdly is the shorts that you wear when you're on the bike. You know that they have padding, right?
Oh, absolutely.
On the little saddle padding. And the reason why they have saddle padding is so you don't get saddle sore.
Yeah, because it's a 20-something mile bike ride.
Yeah, but the problem is it feels like you dropped the load.
Yeah.
And that's Jerry Roberts just walked into the studio going, what the heck did I just hear? Anyway, so it feels like you dropped the load in your shorts. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling for me.
But imagine the advertising potential for you, Ray Gibson, if you were to announce right now that you will be an Ironman 2019.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen. I will tell you right now it's not going to happen. If it were to be, I would commit and would train like a monk.
You get a year.
I would train like a monk for some of these events. But the truth of the matter is, I don't want to train like a monk for 3 different events. I need to focus. I need to concentrate. There's a Guam International Marathon coming up, and I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to run a full marathon. And that means, drop weight. That means train 6 days a week, and do all of those things. Or do I join the half marathon, come in at a spectacular time, smiling? Yeah, big smile. Look at me. 13.1 miles. Look at me. I'm feeling good. Sub 2 hours. That's what I'd be shooting for, right? What's the other option, Jer?
The other option is do the marathon as far as you can go. And just be happy for that.
No, you got to finish.
Who said?
Gibson's never quit. For the most part, Gibson's never quit all the way
I'm
through.
talking about collapsing in the middle of the street face down.
That. Yeah, that'd be. I even without training, I can make it to the end. I've done it. I don't like it. It's not pleasant. But even without training, you can still you still close up a 5 or 6 hour marathon.
You're my hero.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But if it was going to be Ironman, I'd be in it all the way. There's guys you spend $1,000 just on the plan. For an Ironman, because there's guys that have done this that will sell you this is what works for me, and it's diet and it's exercise and
$1,000.
Oh yeah. Just for a written plan on how to do it, and you can hire hire coaches. Yeah. You can hire consultants that will talk you through this. You want to do couch to Ironman, it can be done.
Yep.
But there's a cost behind it, and one of the costs is you got to be careful about every little thing that you eat. So and I don't want to debate myself when I go to. Check this segue out. When I go to Subway for the Chipotle cheesesteak, flavor.
Man, it is so gifted.
The flavor comes from juicy, shaved steak and Chipotle Southwest sauce, available for a limited time at Subway restaurants. Subway, make it what you want.
Calvo started with a simple handshake. As we celebrate 80 years, we extend a hand to all of you who have taken our hand in trust, to the dreamers and realists, the families, the businesses, the young at heart, and the old souls, our manumku and our children. From all of us to all of you, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
Am I supposed to talk again? Oh, for everybody. Okay, I will. At 9 after 9, Jerry and I talking about getting to third base, but I'm not sure exactly what he was talking about. Maybe it has to do with the extra points in the next couple of days. Is that what it is? That's what it is. Okay, gotcha. Portions of the program brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. American President lines they're shipping the future. And Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show.
I am so going to miss political gossip when this is all done. Sometime in late November, after we figure out who the governor is going to be.
You hope.
Every single day. No, you know what I think? We're gonna have to dig it out. There's paperwork that I've got to dig out in the chapter 3 of the code, which is specific to the election, if I'm right, because there are questions that have been answered before, especially when if there is a runoff situation, and no matter what happens, somebody's going to be pushing for a runoff situation, right? Frank and Alicia. So the question is, what numbers, what ballots will create that universe, the nominator from which we get the denominator, right? You remember the line about ballots cast, and does a blank ballot count in this election? If somebody went and cast a blank ballot, would it count towards the universe that we divide everything else from?
Does a ballot have to have a mark on it to be valid and counted?
Yeah. What if you fill in the oval, you write a name, it's not the right name? Okay, so that ballot is rejected. Does the ballot, because it does not have the correct spelling or the approved spelling or otherwise voter intent we can't determine that? Will that still count towards the universe? And I want to say in past we've taken this to the Supreme Courts, and they've said yes, even a blank ballot should be counted among all of the ballots that are cast.
So if somebody,
because it might be a protest.
If somebody at a precinct takes their ballot and says, "No, I'm not going to do anything with it," and walks over and puts it into
the thing, I believe that is counted. It is a vote cast, and it will count against the percentages that they're going to have to figure out. Remember, we had a problem with percentages earlier, right? 2%. What numbers do we use to determine 2%? So if we've got to get 50% plus 1, what number do we have to hit, and what ballots are all going to be counted as we get there? Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a problem. I say it could be a problem.
Well, now you've been in precincts before, and so have I. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of lax. Not everybody's always looking. What would happen if somebody walked over to one of the ballot boxes and shoved about 15, 20 blank ballots in there? Would that count?
Well, where are they going to get them? I mean, they got to come from somewhere. The blank. I mean, somebody's going to be handed.
No, I'm talking about a precinct worker.
Oh.
And wants to shove a few blank ballots in there. What would happen then?
I don't know
if those count.
I don't know. And that's one of the things I got to find out. I'm not totally prepared for the conversation, but I'm willing to jump into it just for fun, just because, it's 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. What the heck?
I think this whole thing about what marks or what names are going to be included.
Do you think we're going to go Florida?
No,
you think we're going to go total Florida here?
I don't know, because they said they approved 3, but then they said they're willing to consider other names.
So a little bit.
What does that mean?
Put a little bit more subjectivity into this.
How about Al? Ugin Limpiak. Is Al going to work, or is Ugin going to work?
If you can determine
is Frank going to work?
Got to be able to, I suppose, divine the voter intent here, and that will be the operative language here that is going to be going on. So, like I said, in late November, when we know where the governor is going to be, I suppose I better find something beyond political gossip to talk about. I got Kellis on the line. Good morning, Kel. How you doing?
Oh, darn. I was going to issue political gossip.
Well, if you don't have any political gossip, let me give you some. I've got there's another link I got to stick up on the Facebook Live, and because I put up there's a Kill Death hit piece that's out. I'm not playing it, but I will refer to it on the air. I'm not playing it because I might get sued if I play it. They're making some real scurrilous and I think personally damaging, libelous things, perhaps about folks that are associated with the Liu campaign. And this is more of the cabinet, and why I'm out. There is a preceding version of that that I just got my hands on. And so I will post it. Of the several reasons why I won't play it is because, number one, they're too long. Number two, there's no annotation on it. And number three, I might get sued. And as we all know, the primary job of station management is to preserve the license.
Get sued.
Yeah, don't get sued.
Preserve the money.
Preserve the license. Don't get sued.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, like with the primary that we just had, even the invalid ballots, in other words, where people were mistaken idiots or whatnot, that should be counted as voters. You know, I voted invalidly. I mean, then that should. So I think that would have actually dropped the percentage even lower on the count.
Correct.
Right.
Mathematically, as we add more of these in there, then obviously you would say, okay, well, that will bring a percentage down. It'll bring an average down.
Because I will admit that in times past, I have gone to the point where I voted for one senator, and that was it on a ballot.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I mean, no congressperson, nothing. I voted for a senator and, gave him a silver bullet, and that was it. So that should still count against the Congress, count against the governor, count against everybody else, because I am a voter. And as you're saying, out of protest, I voted. I don't want either of these guys, I think. But so when you're getting to especially now with the possibility of 3 or maybe 4 people running, with 2 different write-ins, you still have to get that magic number. And so that magic number is going to be harder and harder to get with more people writing in.
I think it will be interesting. I'm a little bit distracted. I just got a great piece of news here. Guam Marine Corps Base. Thank you, Dennis, for alerting me to this. Today, Congresswoman Madeline Z. Bordallo announced that the U.S. Marine Corps main cantonment area on Guam will be named in honor of the late Brigadier General Vicente Ben Blas.
Ah, nice.
Wow.
Excellent touch. Excellent touch. This is terrific news. The Department of the Navy notified Congresswoman Bordallo that the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Robert B. Neller, concurred with her recommendation and is endorsing Marine Corps Base Guam to be named after Brigadier General Blas, which is absolutely terrific and for a lot of reasons, not the least of which was Ben Blas was a great guy.
He's a good man.
He was a terrific guy.
Sure was.
And you could sit down and he talked to you. It didn't matter who you were. He'd sit down with you for a half hour and have some great conversations.
Great storyteller.
I've one of my favorite pictures. You remember when we were in D.C. together?
Yep.
And one of the things that I got a chance to do when I'd gone to a trade show in D.C., Jerry Roberts was there with the guys from Metro Traffic.
Of broadcasters.
Yeah, and Jerry was working with these guys from Metro Traffic back in those days. And so there was one day that I was there. I think this was the day that my nephew was born, come to think of it. It all happened at the same time. Anyway, so I didn't have anything working that day for the show, so I thought I'm going to go visit my congressman. And so I made a couple of telephone calls, and before I know it, I'm in the congressman's office, and I thought this was going to be a 10-minute courtesy visit. I must have been in there for 2 hours, and we're just shooting the breeze, talking about all kinds of stuff going on at home. And then I said, well, okay, you have a terrific day, and I'll see you later. He said, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, well, I got the trade show tomorrow. He says, what are you doing for breakfast? And I said, I don't know. I'm sure I'll be hungry. He said, how'd you like to eat in the Republican coffee house? And so there's a couple of pictures of me and the congressman and I, and even after he wasn't in Congress anymore, he's still a welcome guest at the radio station. Wrote a bunch of books that were fun to talk to him about, and told just some great stories. So that is good news.
He was just Ben was just a really good guy, and he always had a nice smile on his face. He always greeted you warmly. I mean, no matter what was going on with him, he always had a nice way of greeting you.
Well,
Pleasant man.
Terrific family, and I'm sure that Tom is just beside himself with this news. Absolutely terrific news. Sure. And hope that you got to hear about it from this program. Proud to have known him and proud to have worked with him on a number of different occasions. That is absolutely terrific. 9:19, Kel. Did we wear out what you were already talking about? Oh, he's gone. It's finished. Okay, bye-bye.
He mentioned there were 4. There was another write-in. Who is that going to be?
Frank Blas.
Well, but did nobody ever approached Frank. So, I mean, is that, did Frank say, geez, okay, go, you can do that?
It depends on who you talk to.
Okay.
And I know things that were said to me in confidence that I can't say on the air. That's one of the other things about what I like to consider a hallmark of the Ray Gibson Show is I can keep a secret. And as tantalizing as some of the things that are in my head are, and I could riff on them for the rest of the show, they were told to me in confidence, so I'm going to keep them in confidence until I hear that crap from somewhere else. Until I find out the person that told me it in confidence also told it to a bunch of other people in confidence, and then I figure I'm safe.
So if you were laying odds, not that I'm a betting man, but if you were laying odds on whether or not there would be a runoff, what would you say they would be at this point?
It depends on what day it is. And I'm totally serious. It depends what day it is. There were a couple of days last week that I didn't think it was going to happen, and for some reason it just felt like Frank was coming out a little bit stronger, and so that started to feel like there was going to be a runoff. I mean, there's and for each one of the candidates that are running, and I'm not saying this to try to be overly fair to each of them, but honestly, my position in the last 2 or 3 weeks on what I think is going to happen based on stuff that I'm hearing from a variety of camps, from in some cases people that might actually have information research on this. There's some times where Ray feels really, really strong. I mean, he felt really strong for I don't know, a few hours last week. Lou has been feeling pretty strong. And then Frank comes out, and there was a much more aggressive Frank on the radio on Friday than I'd heard in a long time. He was no holds barred, but he was up against Lulian Guerrero, who is also no holds barred. Would you like to hear one of the latest promos for the Ray Gibson Show?
Sure.
Listen carefully.
If you haven't tuned in to the all-new Ray Gibson Show, you've missed a lot.
I have told Frank that I have no idea for any of this stuff. I denied that it was coming from us, so I don't want to discuss it anymore. Frank, you lost. Move on.
Don't miss out. Tune in every weekday morning from 6 to 10 for The Ray Gibson Show on Guam's only FM News Talk Superstation, 93.3 The Point.
Punadera! There's just got that. You lost, honey. That's all there is to it. That's the mother hen in the farmyard, and that was hen peg. And you have to. I was trying to explain this to somebody before that not completely literate on the language. There's a punadera, right? That's the word. But somebody that is very, very henpecky, a punadera. You got to put just to maximize the R's there. Something is going to get wet from the saliva from the dera out at the end of that. And so that's kind of the way I'm feeling now. There's one of 6 scenarios that can happen, Jer. Lou wins outright. Frank wins outright. Ray wins outright. Which one of those feels like it's going to happen?
I don't think Frank wins outright. I don't think they're right in. I don't totally agree with Ron McNinch. I don't mean to jump in the middle of your 6. I'll get back.
That's all right.
But McNinch says he figures 5%. And max, I think he said possibly that's all you're going to get from the right. I don't think this time. I think we're going to get more than that.
Okay, so we're definitely. Hey, listen, I got a couple of guys, political experts that are agreeing with that. Frank is not going to win outright, but will cause a runoff.
Could cause a runoff. Now the question is, can Frank be one of the two?
There's the other 3 scenarios.
Go.
Runoff Lou Ray. Runoff Lou Frank. Runoff Ray Frank. So of those 3, which one feels like it's the more likely to happen?
Come on. I mean, most people think conventional wisdom would say that it would be Ray and Lou. Conventional wisdom. However, this has been a very unconventional year.
Madeline Badaglio's not up for Congress. I thought Doris Brooks was going to stay at the public Office of Public Accountability for life. I thought that was a lifetime position. Nobody's ever going to be able to beat her. Nobody's ever going to be able to beat Madeline. Last week, I was at a forum at the Rotary Club, which featured Doris Flores Brooks and Mike St. Nicholas. Two of the last, if you'd have asked me a year ago, two of the last people I thought would be at a forum for Congress.
Yep.
And then we start talking about the AG race, but you're absolutely right. It has been a great ride so far. And according to the Guam Election Commission website, 14 days.
14 days.
That's what it says online. I don't know where their clock is on their deal, but 14 days, not including today.
I know one thing for sure.
What's that now?
The beer is going to be really cold the night after our election coverage.
Oh, and we're going to drink here.
I know.
Yeah, that's hands down. I think it'd be even more fun. We have that little beer summit. I think it'd be fun to play around with. Anyway, so that's where I am today. What was I talking about when you came in? Had I done all the commercials? Okay.
For 14 days, and you have to know that each of these three camps have got something ready to go. And between now and the end of the 14 days, they've got some major salvos to throw.
Let's help Guam see a better day. Cast your vote for Bob and Ray.
No. Don't throw me in that write-in briar patch. If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. So as I said, I'm only going to play the audio on this, and again decry what I think. If you're going to put time, trouble, effort, maybe even money into Kill, Kill, Death hit piece, do it right. Would you?
Danish explorer in Russian service.
Is that the wrong? It's the wrong one again, right? No, because what happens?
But he sound very British.
Wouldn't that be a killer? Wouldn't it be great? A Kill, Kill, Death hit piece with a Brit accent.
For Lou and Josh.
Yeah, I'm in for Lou and Josh. Do you know who
you
else is in for Lou and Josh? Other unsavory characters.
And my dog Muffy.
So I think this is the beginning of the Kill, Kill, Death hit piece number one.
I'm Madeline Burdell.
No, it's not. Wait. Again, wrong one. Hold on. This one. You know, it would be terrific is if while watching this Kill, Kill, Death hit piece, saying there's Gil Shanahara, right? While I'm watching this Kill, Kill, if a Bota ad came up, because Bota's bought just a ton of ads on YouTube.
I like the title of this: "Burn the Cabinet, I'm Out."
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah. So there we are, and you're going, Ray. Come on, stop teasing us. You've already said 100 times that you're not going to play it. At least share the link. Fine. But again, great music behind it, wonderful artwork. You got all the right pictures of the right guys, covers of the newspapers, and all of that stuff. But you know what? Here's the deal: you got to put somebody annotating it. And like I said, it'd be nice if there was a lady. Thinking of the lady that used to do one of the other ads for either a car company or one of the water companies. You know, this beautiful British accent. Yeah, so-and-so, that's my mate, that's my ace, yeah. All right, so I'll post the link up where everybody can see it on the Facebook Live. Okay, there. Happy now? We now have available to you both of the Kill, Kill, Death hit pieces on Facebook Live there. Watch them to your content. Share them if you want to. And I think they're the interesting pieces today. Will it have an impact on the election? I doubt it. You know, it's one of those things, and probably something I learned from Jerry Roberts years ago. There's always going to be crap flying around about you, and you can respond if you want to. Your friends don't need a response, and your enemies won't listen.
You know,
so just let it fly.
I'm sorry, I rarely disagree with you about things, but I think this sort of thing is exactly what can sway decisions in this day and age. All you have to do is just take a quick hour-long, it doesn't even take that long, but just peruse Facebook for a little while and watch how people's opinions are swayed just by the posting of one thing when they don't even know if that thing is valid or not.
Yeah.
It's just too easy in this day and age.
That kind of thing?
Yeah, because for everybody on a computer or cell phone these days, everything they see is
I don't know. And there's fake accounts and stuff like that. We can play around with it. Well, I'll look at Facebook Live in a second and see what else is going on. In the meantime, headlines. We would normally be doing headlines. I think this should be the #1 headline today, and a piece of good news. And I hope that all of the other political nonsense that's floating around right now doesn't eclipse it. But they are going to name the Guam Marine Corps base, the main cantonment area, the main laydown area, is going to be named after Ben Blas. And I think that is the best kind of tribute that they possibly could have done. And from the PR standpoint, smart.
Good job.
Good job. Somebody was thinking. 9:29 in the morning, and that's iConnect time. Swing by or call iConnect and find out why they're the practical choice. 888-8888 is their phone number. Just swing by any of the malls. There's always an iConnect location out somewhere. Behind the radio station, you can find an iConnect. And ask them about the great rates that they've got on push-to-talk and mobile and internet plans.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
What do you want me to talk about now? Is Cold Stone? Swing by when the salad. Okay, producer saying, do the salad, Ray. They like it when you do the salad commercial. They got a Harvest chicken salad, and it delivers on all of the flavors of fall, except one, because I don't think even the experts at Wendy's could figure out how to put pumpkin in a salad with chicken. Just think about it. In my head, it's not working. It's not working in my head. So they just said, you know what? Let's do this with red and green apples, cranberries. Ooh, the tang on a cranberry. That's great. Perfect combination of applewood smoked bacon, crumbled feta cheese, so we got some savory going on, plus apple cider vinaigrette. There's Tola here, and brown sugar roasted walnuts. So this fall season, fall for the new Harvest chicken salad from Wendy's. Now that's better.
I have it on good authority that if you hollow out half a pumpkin, they will put the salad in there for you.
Ooh.
That's how you get pumpkin.
That would be the way to do it. 9:31.
30 years ago, I moved to Guam from the Philippines to make a better life for my family. I worked hard every day. We struggled, but I was happy to do it for my kids. I will do anything to protect my family, but I don't feel safe. I don't see police patrolling the villages like I used to. Guam is not the same. Criminals are getting braver because they know we don't have enough police officers. The Lieutenant Governor says public safety is a priority. He's been in the office for 8 years and had the chance to do something to make us safer, but he didn't. I'm tired of empty promises. I want someone who's going to get the job done. That's why I'm voting for Lou and Joss. Sa Nobyembre Essays, ako po ay boboto para kay Lou at Joss. At inaanyahan ko po kayong lahat na maniwala na mayroon tayong karapatan na maramdaman na ligtas ang pagboto sa kanila. Ako po si Bobby Gopez. Maraming salamat po.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this ad.
Paid for by the committees to elect Lilian Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
At least from my perspective, the stuff that I get to do here is just crazy fun. Somebody was asking me about that over the weekend, and which I love. Can I just say that I love, and I hope I don't disappoint you. Sometimes I worry about that. You know, when people come up and introduce themselves, my name is so and so, and I just want you to know I listen to you all the time, and I just want you to know how much that means to me. And I like to bring comments like that back to Kevin and to Mike and everybody around here. You know, it's nice to know that we make a difference in your life, that there is meaning to it, and I tell you what, when I am in those situations and somebody does introduce me, I try to be the best version of myself there is.
Yeah, I have to be.
So never do it after 10 o'clock if we're in a bar. I don't know that guy. I don't know that guy. He talks a lot. But anyway, a lot of people will come up and just say how much they appreciate the show. And I just say thank you very, very much. After the conversation that we had with Frank and Lou and Vince on the radio on Friday, was that Eddie was talking about I should get some kind of award for that. And I said, no thanks, Eddie. That you are there listening, that you are there to hear it, means so much to me. So I jump out of bed and literally, as my friend Perla will say, just find these topics that I cannot not talk about on the air. In fact, usually around this time, I begin to regret that I've screwed around so much in the other 3 hours of the show, because I'm looking at other items in the table of content that are just as much fun. Mark says there needs to be a disclaimer because that guy works at AutoSpot. I've heard that. Does there? But did you see the end of the TV version where it's like he's going to take the I'm in with Lou and Josh thing and cover up the Dennis Rodriguez sign? Right? That's clever. That's good thinking there. Because despite what anybody says, I still don't think Dennis has come out with an endorsement for Lou and Josh. I think, he signed the Unity Pledge. Yeah. I think, and that's it. That's it. After the election, he says, good luck to him, and everybody vote Democrat. But it didn't actually say, I haven't seen anything where Dennis is wearing the I'm in shirt. Right. I mean, it's not as obvious as Carl Gutierrez. And I could be wrong. I see Chuck Tanner's there. Chuck Tanner's always got the radio playing in the morning. And Chuck, has there been, and if there has been one, send me a copy of it, something that Dennis says he is supporting Lou and Josh. So I think what they're trying to do there is make that connection, especially among the incredible number of Filipino voters out there. Yeah, I think that might need some swing. Yeah, I think at this point, Dennis only conceded that he lost the primary and said good luck to the other Democrats. Hey, have a nice life. Okay, so 9:35, 888-8255. Are there still things that I haven't gotten around to talking about yet? Tim Rohr and Nick Perlosky and Simon Sanchez and Dion Shinahara and Jennifer Dula and Chuck Tanner. There is. Oh, maybe I did talk about all of this stuff. No, I'm messing around. No. Okay. So this is another person comes up to me at the party on Friday night at Black Construction 60th anniversary. Because as far as everybody is concerned, I'm always working. And the lady comes up to me. She says, I need to tell you something. I said, I'm here. And she says, I went to go and get my business license renewed over at the Department of Revenue and Taxation. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, no. I said, how was it? Because I have been through processes like that at Rev and Tax. It's no problem. It's kind of a breeze. You just go in there and you talk to the right people. And in my case, apologize for not doing any reports for the last, 12 months. And then, somebody will pay a little extra fee, and then I'm good. Anyway, so she said when she went to renew her business license, they said, here is, we need to charge you more. And she said, why? And they said, because you have use taxes that you haven't paid. What? Okay, so here there's a use tax, as an example, and I want to say it's 8%. If you bring in a tractor, because you're going to use it for business here, there's a use tax that goes on it. So a percentage of the total value of that tractor now goes to the Department of Revenue and Taxation. I'm glad they don't charge me for my pens. I think there's a minimum threshold, but I'm not sure. and so, as an example, when the transmitter that was out there for a while and is now up there, in fact, the one that we're broadcasting on now, a use tax was paid on that. Wow. Okay. And there was one I had to pick up from the cargo place at Northwest once upon a time, and the lady said, okay, you take this and you fill it out, and then you go over there. I said, what's over there? And they said, the Treasurer of Guam. And I said, why? And the lady says, use tax, Mr. Gibson. Oh, good thing I brought the good credit card today. Yes, I got that. Which one of the silvers are we going to use today was the answer to that question. That's right. And that was there's a big nick on the credit card. That one to, the little silver on your name, the little silver
Yeah.
That's called tipping. Yeah, wore it right off.
Yeah,
wore that
We're
stuff
talking
right off.
about 8% of a transmitter. And
Yeah.
they're not something you buy at Walmart.
Yeah, use tax is 4%, according to Frank. Okay.
Okay, still.
I can't remember. I just remember it was big. I didn't like paying it. But anyway, so she was trying to get her license renewed, and they said, you've got these use taxes that you have to pay. And she said, well, show me them. And they said, no. You show us all of your invoices, all of your receipts. But you owe a use tax. And they gave her a number or something like that, and she said, no, you have to tell me. Where are you getting that information from? You need to defend that. And they wouldn't defend it to her. And I think, she'd asked for a supervisor or something like that. So I'm just saying, guys, you may, as you go in for your renewal, may have to talk to somebody about a use tax that you will have to pay on certain equipment that you may have received in the course of doing your work, and they aren't going to have the paperwork to back up the request for the use tax payments. And I don't know what to do after that. I said, then I'm staying right here. The line can be formed behind me until you show me, you defend why you believe that I owe you this much in use taxes. So I'm completely blown away by that story. And so she said, can you talk about it on the radio on Monday? And the answer is yes, I can. I can't. I don't know if it's going to help. I mean, we try to get a hold of folks from Rev and Tax all the time, but they're always busy. Tom Adda has got a bone to pick with the Department of Revenue and Taxation. It's the same bone that B.J. Cruz was trying to pick at it with him, right? B.J. says about these new property taxes on properties that are valued at over $1 million. You need to start collecting that new tax on them now. Otherwise, you will be $8 million behind. We were able to balance the budget based on that additional, that increase and other increases that are out there. And the Department of Revenue and Taxation said no. The governor's office has said no, we're not doing that. You didn't write anything into the law that suggests that it needs to be implemented immediately. If you wanted to, you should have said so. I told you your budget was flawed. And this is just one of those cases where it is flawed. So the problem is, and they're basing it on the idea that there have not been assessments on these properties since March of this year. So if you're going to assess a new tax on these properties, you can't make it retroactive. You can't go back to March and say, okay, these buildings here are the ones that we are talking about, because it's based on an old assessment. You have to wait until there's a new assessment in March of next year, which means it will be another fiscal year before you can start applying the tax on those. So anyway, so Tom now has picked up the cudgels, as it were. I like using that word. I'm not even sure if I'm using it right. I just like the way it sounds. Use the announcer voice. The cudgels. Right? It sounds like one of those families in Games of Thrones. The cudgels of the Iron Bank. Anyway, so that's what he's up to. So he's going to be going to the Attorney General's office asking for some kind of opinion, and I can just see the people over at the Attorney General's office going, "Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's all we need. Give me some more of that." Sure. Lady D says it's BJ's fault for pushing the taxes. I don't like any taxes. I don't like any taxes. I'm amused at trying to figure out which side I want to be on here. I'm trying to figure out whose side do I want to be on. I'm edging over onto the administration side. Not that I have any properties, you see, that are valued in excess of $1 million that I would have to pay any additional taxes on. And the other thing is, guess what? 55 plus, a senior citizen. So I get a little bit of a break here on my real property taxes, right? So I'm Fat City here. And the idea that they were coming around looking for all of these additional taxes, it's interesting. Now, the only reason why I can't completely side on the side of the administration is because it was them that were telling us that we had a fiscal crisis going on, that we were in trouble. Moving into FY 2018, oh my. 2019, we've got problems in Dodge City with our revenue. So you would think, well, you know what? Maybe it is a flawed. Maybe it was flawed, this budget. But you know, it's the one that we got. So yeah, maybe we'll sit and see what the AG says. If the AG says we got to collect, we got to collect. And base it on old taxes. Base it on old taxes. What's the worst thing that could happen? We get sued again. So I don't know. I don't know. Was there a fiscal crisis? And if it wasn't a real fiscal crisis, does that mean that we probably shouldn't have to worry about whether this tax goes into place or not? So you talk amongst yourselves and see what the deal ends up being on that, and we'll watch. Other items in the table of contents, stuff that I had not quite gone through. I did get a request earlier to talk about the diploma lady, the scammer, I guess. 300 students running around with junk diplomas. And what are you supposed to be? So I'm not happy that there is another scammer out there. And I'm not happy that it is a scammer that is taking advantage of people who, for whatever reason, and you'd be surprised the myriad of reasons why somebody might not be able to graduate from high school. And some of them will rip the heart out of your chest. They're just so sad. And it's amazing the things that people are going through around here these days. And there might be, I got to take care of the family. Mom's in jail. I got to take care of the family. Mom's on duty. She's been deployed. There's no grandma. There's no grandpa. Somebody's got to watch after the smaller kids. But there's any number of reasons why people might have to leave high school. And all of a sudden, it looks like there's somebody that might be able to help you out, might be able to cut you that diploma. Going to cost you a few dollars, but you know what? We'll get it for you. And once you've got a diploma, you know that will open the doors. Even just a high school diploma in this town will open the doors to great opportunities. So it looks good. You know, you want to talk about taking advantage of people that could least afford it. And now there's a bunch of people who are probably lighter by a few $100s that got a piece of paper that, for all intents and purposes, is worthless. And so I hope that after everything happens in the court, that justice is done. Unfortunately, I know it won't be. Won't be done to anybody's satisfaction. You know, the loser in this case is always going to end up being the loser, and there are real victims here that we're going to be talking about. But I will also say this, because it has to be said. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
And once again, drugs tie into it.
Oh, of course. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. I mean, sure bet she would not have been motivated to do that sort of thing if she weren't addicted to methamphetamine.
No, and that's what the guy now that allegedly admitted to killing Tamika Nauta said. I wouldn't normally have been robbing this house. I wouldn't normally have been stabbing a 15-year-old girl. But it was the drugs that are doing it. So we come full circle to where we were almost 4 hours ago as the program progresses. We've got a serious crime problem that is based on a serious drug problem that we have in this town. And I have no idea what to do about it. There are going to be people that will say, well, it's obvious we need more cops. And, well, it's not, because you can look at the magistrate reports. You can look in the crime section of any of the newspapers. Check out KUAM, PNC, anybody in this town. Any news story, you will hear that the majority of these crimes are based on methamphetamine, Schedule II, drug use, and trafficking, and addiction. And they're getting arrested. People are getting arrested. But they're also getting out. Get arrested, and they go before somebody in a robe, and for whatever reason, we're not sending you to jail. You're going to be on release. And I think we need to change it and make it so that if before we even start talking about letting you get booked and released, you need to go pee-pee in a jar. I need a test. And if you come back positive right now for crystal methamphetamine, I'm sorry, I need to put you in at least a 7-day lockdown. You have to be in there for at least 7 days, and we would hope inside those 7 days you might be in a position where you can break this awful habit, and hopefully you aren't deep in it enough so that you are hardcore addicted. You might be able to break the habit and become a candidate then for getting your life together. They have those programs. They've got programs there. So it's just a question of doing it. Unfortunately, the places that they would go, you send it to the Department of Corrections, and even Judge Sokola has remarked, well, they got good drugs there. You want drugs, you'd probably find no better collection of drugs, drug paraphernalia, drug pushing, than you will find at the Department of Corrections. So where would they go? What would they do? Can't stay at my house. 10 away from the top of the hour. Mike says I have to take a break, so okay, I'll be right back.
I'm Ray Tenorio, and I approve this message. The Calvo Tenorio administration achieved a lot for Guam. The Tenorio administration will continue the progress and accomplish even more for our people. Tax refunds are now paid in months. Tony and I will get them paid in weeks. Calvo Tenorio repaired bridges like Mariso and roads like Hamburger and Machechi after decades of need. TA will make sure all roadways will be fixed and made safe. We built GMH's intensive care unit and expanded the emergency room. Tenorio Auto will get our hospital a dedicated funding source and continue modernizing. Our law enforcement agencies seized over 100 million in illegal drugs. Tony and I will continue fighting the distribution of and the demand for drugs. Tenorio Auto will invest in your children through education and investment in our island's future. I'm Ray Tenorio, and I'm running for governor, and I humbly ask for your vote.
On November 6th, vote Tenorio Auto.
Calvo started with a simple handshake. As we celebrate 80 years, we extend a hand to all of you who have taken our hand in trust, to the dreamers and realists, the families, the businesses, the young at heart and the old souls, our manumku and our children. From all of us to all of you, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
I didn't talk about it yet? Or do I need to talk about it some more? Okay, fine. I can do that. Because it's one of my favorite things to talk about this week. Irregardless. I say it like that. I say it like that because some people, you say that word and their brains explode. There's no such word!
Actually, it is a word now. It's not supposed to be, but it is because people just
People are
refuse
using
to
it.
stop using it. So they said, might as well make it a word.
All right, so as irregardless of what happens with the weather, I will. We will make plans to be at the Micronesia Mall, and that is going to be Saturday from 1 until 4. And the commercial says all of the candidates are going to be there. All of the candidates have been invited. The ones that want to win will be there. And so expect a healthy showing of all kinds of politicians And some that aren't, involved in politics on a regular basis, just the nonpartisan offices, things like that. But be on the lookout for them. We'll be broadcasting the event live. That is to say, I will be conducting interviews from the Micronesia Mall 1 until 4 on the radio. You'll be able to hear it, 93.3, wherever you happen to be. We've got streams that are up, and somebody says, is it going to be on Facebook Live? Hello? Excuse me, this is Ray Gibson on 93.3 The Point. Yes, it's going to be on Facebook Live. Carlos Pareto from over at Shooting Star has got some great equipment that he uses to take out of the building. And it's also, someplace where we might be able to put something like this down here that says my name or whoever it is that I'm interviewing and all of that stuff. So it will be a nice, pretty presentation you'll be able to watch. And as usual, on Facebook Live, I'll be able to see your comments. And many of your comments should be able to direct the line of questioning that I have either with the person in front of me or with other people that are going to be coming up. So I'm looking forward to Saturday when we hang out. Now Saturday's going to be a busy day. We got cha-cha contest that night too, right?
Right, yeah.
And the Jets are supposed to be performing at the UOG Fieldhouse. I think American Music and Infusion have your tickets. And somebody listening this morning going, but Ray, come on, the guys promoting. You're going to do some giveaways of tickets, right? You're going to hook me up. You're going to help me out with a couple of tickets to go watch the Jets at the Fieldhouse on Saturday. I don't have any tickets to give away.
No.
Michael had tickets to give away on Boss 104.
I did, and gave away a pair Saturday morning, and she was very pleased.
I got you. So that's very nice. What do we got here on Brad saying, vote no on retaining judges who are weak and releasing criminal drug addicts who then commit escalating crimes. It's happening. It's happening in front of our very eyes. And I don't know what to do about it other than to invoke the names of great crime fighters of our past. Guys like Judge Paul Abadi, who would generally not give quarter to people who made tragic choices in their lives. And Mariano Cruz, the great MC Cruz. And I've talked to him about being a crime fighter, and I'll tell you why. I don't know that this guy ever chased down any criminals. Not like Willie Brennan. Willie Brennan, there was a guy, I want to say it was a client from Department of Corrections, and this guy escaped a bunch of times. He was out for a while on this one, and somebody heard about him lingering at the Agana Shopping Center. This is decades ago in the 80s. And Willie Brennan was there and caught sight of him and ran him down, not in the car, tackled the guy, and put him back in a jailhouse. That's crime fighting. MC Cruz, who will be remembered as a great crime fighter because he was one of these guys. It didn't matter who you were. If he thought that you were guilty of something, he would bust you. And one day it was amusing as hell, but it was a great lesson in police work. The governor's limousine was illegally parked, and MC Cruz wrote out the ticket. And everybody said, "Ooh, this guy's going to get in trouble. Man, they're going to bust him down to private or something like that." But nah, everybody was on his side. Everybody was on his side. And it was Ricky Berdallo, I believe, was the governor of Guam at the time, Madeline's husband. And back in those days, the deal was there's not two sets of laws. There should not be two sets of laws. One for the elected political powers, the elites, the connected, and everybody else. So I want to say that Ricky Berdallo had to go to the courthouse and file the paperwork and get that ticket out from under his name. It's possible the driver was fired because somebody's got to get in trouble, buddy. 9:56 and change. So what do we got here? What's the interesting stories that are floating around? Tenorio Ada's lawyer wants GEC chair to recuse herself. Alice Tyron and $480 public campaign expenses listed by the Lou and Josh team show chairperson Alice Tyron was paid $480 for food she provided at a campaign event. Attorney Fisher says that's reason for recusal, even though all but one of the 7 commissioners are partisan by design. We want to go down that road. I already told you what the answer was. The answer is that we get 2 more independents. And have to make everybody agree out of 9. Teacher charged with operating illegitimate homeschool. Talked about that particular issue there. Arrests made. Good. Cortec drops Simon Sanchez appeal in DPW deal. This is a big hairy story. This is first thing tomorrow. Find John Fernandez or Mark Mendiola. That's what this means. Sabrina Matanani at KUAM writes, the long-delayed effort to rebuild Simon Sanchez High can finally move forward. Cortec International has backed off its appeal filed with the Guam Office of the Public Auditor in exchange for DPW rescinding its notice of default for bridge projects in Agana. Over a year ago, they reported at KUAM was cited for the delays in that project and owed $3 million in liquidated damages. Now that DPW has rescinded the notice of default, that clears the way for Cortec to bid on future projects and now also paves the way for Simon Sanchez project to move forward. Now that DOE is going to be in charge of the procurement of about every step of the way. And in my mind, they're probably going to be looking for quotes from people. I'm sure Cortec might be among those that will drop off a packet. All right. So there we go. There's a bunch of things that we talked about, played tag with on topics. Otherwise, here's what I want you to do. Facebook Live, we're shutting down that shop here in about 60 seconds. In a few minutes after they're done reviewing it over at Facebook, it will be available as a video on demand. I urge you to go back over the video on demand and then look at all of the different links that I put up there. There's a couple of Kill Death hit pieces that are out there. I think I put up the link for Madeline Berdalio and her endorsement of the In campaign, and I haven't heard anything fun from Frank and Alicia, or the Bota team. So maybe tomorrow there'll be some more videos that we can play for you on the show. The radio station, KUSG, I got ya. This is The Point, 93.3, headquarters for Fox News Live. It's still the weekend back in the States, so all of the programs that you're going to hear after this one are going to be stateside weekend programs, right-wing bomb throwers on the radio tomorrow. Bob Klitsky on the radio this afternoon at 4. I want you to be listening for that. Should be fun and exciting as they always are. You have a terrific day. From Mike and Kevin and Blake, this is Ray Gibson saying, I gotta go. Here's that Fox News.
.gu. The Point is streaming now on TuneIn, Next Station, and Stream.
Steve Rappaport, Fox News. Thousands of Central American migrants back on the move, marching through Mexico. Fox's William Lajeunesse in Tapachula.
The Mexican military was prepared to stop them. We saw about 200 riot police with shields prepared to stop them earlier today, and then the group just got too big, literally overwhelming them. So they will sleep here tonight. They're hoping to get from Mexico a 45-day transit visa that will allow them to go to the United States. They have nothing to lose, they say, making less than $5 a day. They are not entitled to the United States for a job, they say, but at least they are hopeful.
President Trump blames the left for the caravan, tweeting, "The caravans are a disgrace to the Democrat Party. Change the immigration laws now." The president also threatening to close the border to keep the migrants out. Saudi Arabia's foreign